Hey, welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's November 2nd. Remember the 2nd of November. Gunfire, treason. How's everyone doing? That opening was like 7.5 minutes. I started early and let it go long, so that's not good. How's everyone doing? Johnny, Knudis, first, welcome. Monrevo, second. Rona, third. Rona, thanks so much for supporting the channel, eh? There's a lot of outs for 2Byte Ike. 2Byte Ike is it's out there. There's actually, we know someone has a 2Byte Ike handle. We're not sure who though. Besides Ike, Lazy Aurora, funny name, yeah. How's it going as well? Two. Oh, there's the YouTube 2Byte Ike. Thank you for the $5 with a bunch of spooky. That's very kind. Thanks so much. That's really kind. Thank you. Shave face with a shock? Yeah, super now. We shaved we're getting to the point where like we didn't really know what to do with ourselves because it was getting to the point where like you had to know how to deal with the thing you had and like uncharted territory, so we just panicked and it went. Yeah. Hey Pete, anyone know if it's better for a streamer if you watch on YouTube or Twitch? For me, there's no monetization on Twitch at all. But that being said, there's no monetization on YouTube besides 2Byte Ike over there, and eventually the VOD has ads on it. So it doesn't really matter where you watch, whatever's more comfortable for you. We have Restream that goes through both. Thank you for checking in though. If you are watching on YouTube though, if you like the video, eventually leave a comment when it's a VOD. That does help the channel a fair bit, but otherwise, whatever you want works great for us. We're supported on Patreon, mind you. We don't shout that out enough. A link for the Patreon actually is on Twitch now. We went ahead and we updated our Twitch page if you're watching on Twitch, and now there's a whole bunch of banners underneath the window that actually will take you to things like System Gateway, actually shows Netrunner as not being an FFG thing anymore, has a link to Green Level Clearance Discord. I had to make the own icon because the GLC icon doesn't really exist anywhere. So we put in a bit of spring cleaning. You can find all the links at least on Twitch. Awesome Intelligence, how's it going? Mela, happy Age of Apocalypse announcement day. You want to transition into talking about this? Okay, welcome to the Marvel Champions stream. So Marvel Champions is a cooperative or single player card game that actually is like fundamentally plays out like Flesh and Blood. And a lot enough people say that this card game is basically Flesh and Blood. You know how Flesh and Blood works? It's that, but in a game that has a lot more color in it. They announced this set today with 2 new heroes. So we're looking at Bishop and Magic. Really excited for both of them. The designs are really good. And like modern, what's it called? Marvel Champions has just been absolutely popping off. I really want to find the one stream that I know Pat and I came on and we talked about Marvel Champions when it came out and I hated it. I thought it was the worst. And right now I'm like, I checked on my logging. I'm 434 games into Marvel Champions. So it's been working for me. I don't know if I say, hey, Brendan, how's it going? Augustus, hey, stream, how you doing? How much would I have to donate to get you to shave your head? I don't think I'd shave my head. Appreciate it though. There's definitely a number, but it's just like not an approachable number. Okay, I'll say $1 million. I'd probably do it for less, but like we'll start there. I hear Flesh and Blood. Anarcha, how's it going? Yeah, it's Flesh and Blood. You pitch cards. Cards have like resources. It's just like red, yellow, blues. You see a red and a yellow, not exactly. And then you can either play the card or you can pitch the card to make resources and it goes into your discard pile. And then every turn you draw back up to your hand size, which is usually somewhere between 5 and 6. It's literally like Flesh and Blood, but plays like Slay the Spire because every turn you draw a new hand and you're trying to beat, you know, a boss and you can play cooperatively. It's like kind of the nicest little solo thing to play one-handed or two-handed or play with some friends. It's like super chill. I'm stoked for all of this. Yeah. It looks really good. I think this is the one question. We're not going to go too hard into Marvel Champions, and of course, unless y'all want to, but they always end the teaser page with like, what are the 4 heroes that are going to be in the following cycle? And I did not watch any X-Men 90s cartoon, which seems to be where the art and the inspiration from these are being pulled from. So if you have any strong ideas who these 4 people are, I think this is Nightcrawler. This is, what's her name? Jubilee. Let me know. Let me know. You gonna be watching Fab Worlds? It's soon, right? Is it this weekend or next weekend? It's also in Barcelona. So like, I haven't played Flesh and Blood in a long time. And like the Flesh and Blood, November 16th to 19th, I don't think I'll be watching because there is going to be Sovereign of Subways that weekend. And I'm probably going to be doing casting for that. So that's that weekend. So maybe I'll be watching it between rounds. But the problem with Flesh and Blood is obviously it's like a much more expensive game to get into. But the only deck that I had sleeved up to some sort of like competitive level circa like 2 years ago is Lexi. And Lexi just got banned. So like, I sure hope Katsu is good, because I have no way of playing this game for any amount of money that makes any sense anymore. So we'll figure it out. Lamau Rip, yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I was a huge Lexi fan, and then Lexi became good, and then like I didn't want to play Lexi anymore. Not that I've played Flesh and Blood since like the last pre-release, so I play like one Flesh and Blood tournament a year. Kira, how's it going? Congrats on Decklist of the Week. We're gonna go dive into it. That's Chess Girl in chat. Say hi. It's a big old Hosh. I'm kind of surprised that this is the Decklist of the Week because this is like this Decklist of the Week. Okay, wait, no, I'm gonna do backhanded compliments again. There is so many cool, interesting decks going on at Worlds. This is just like Big Hosh. It's just Big Hosh. It's probably really fun to play. I think the write-up and the QTM love in here, like this, so cool too. And then like the Jai arts, like I think that carries it, the narrative attached to this. Not that this list is not going to be flashy. Okay, I did. I made a backhanded compliment. I messed up. Sorry. Yay, Magic. Yeah, right? Frisbee, how's it going? How you doing? Hope everyone's doing great. Love the 5 o'clock shadow. Thank you. It does help that I don't look like a 14-year-old boy anymore. So Jubilee Nightcrawler for sure, the two in the middle ones, right? Iceman seems like a safe bet. I think Iceman is pretty safe to be this guy on the left. People are hoping the guy on the right is Magneto, which would be like kind of fun. The fourth one's a mystery. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this is. I hear the 90s X-Men theme in my soul. I had no idea. Probably Colossus. It won't be Colossus because Colossus already exists as a hero. Like we can say guaranteed. Like if you don't know the you know the characters that are out of Marvel Champions, Colossus is not an option. And then like all the basic options aren't available. So like it can't be Storm or like Wolverine or Laser Eyes, Cyclops. I don't know X-Men that well. I mean, I hate Legacy, so rip Bozo. Oh, dang. It has 61 cards. Yeah, Pete, it's a big deck. It's Big Hosh. We've seen these sort of like trends before. Big Hosh actually used to be really, really on trend. What was the last time that Big Hosh did really well at a tournament? Was it Worlds last year? No, Worlds last year was lat. But it was like, there wasn't a season where like 69 card, I guess that was max, 69 card max, but people were doing Big Hosh. I play like goofy, bigger Hosh, but without Dream Net's a bit harder, but like, hey, we're holding on. Have you heard of our Lord Secret Takobi? Yeah, this says Turbine and Takobi, which is really fun. I do think a big, like both of the cards are really good. One of them is like a less influenced way to do it. I find it so funny that Takobi is basically, you know, just like Fermenter with more steps, or sorry, I mean Leech with more steps, but it is much better than Leech in a lot of ways, as much as Leech is really good right now. And it's still pretty good. And so no matter which one you get down, that's the one you're going to have because we're not paying 4 credits to break a drafter. I'm really interested to play this one, actually. We'll get there. It's okay. It's the reggest Hosh, most reg per unit deck. This is a really strong reg per unit. I'm actually surprised, like some of the 2-ofs too, and maybe Kira, you can mention why exactly it is. But like cards like Paladin Puemo, you don't want 3 of in your deck. But these like Taka Puemo Miami, we're gonna say like hashtag ratios in terms of like making sure you have enough econ per card in your deck. Getting one of these early feels so good. Same with Fermenter, right? Like to me, whenever you play like a big deck, I also feel like we want to have in more ways in the deck to cheat through early ice. So things like Boomerang, things like Botchless. I think a large part of that is my like really big max or really big Hosh is showing where we play like 110 cards, or like making sure that you have alternate ways to deal with ice besides drawing the appropriate icebreaker is more valuable. But there's a chance with like enough card draw. Moshing is pretty busted right now. Strike Fund is not Strike Fund, sorry, but Strike Fund. But price is like absurdly good. That we'll get there for sure. Havoc? Yeah, it could be Havoc. I don't know anything about what Havoc is, but Havoc is an option. X-Men. Havoc is like the beam guy, right? Who shoots like, yeah, orbs out of his chest. So it's worth knowing that these images are of their alter egos. Let me tell you about Marvel Champions. One of my favorite things about Marvel Champions is that every card that is like, imagine you have an ID in Netrunner, right? Like, oh, I'm Lat. You can flip it. So one side is your alter ego. That's where you are just a person, depending on who you're playing. And you can't really do anything super heroic in there besides recover, which is heal health. And then you can choose to flip over and become a hero. And that's when you do like your attacking and your thwarting and your defending and stuff like that. And it's a really fun part of the game because the villain will do something different based off of what side you're on. So it's a really big decision to whether you want to end your turn as like, oh, I'm going to go back to be Ilyana and have some ramen, or I guess they're noodles, or whether you want to be out there magic kicking ass, because eventually you have to take a break. And if you take the break, the villain in the background is scheming, which is like kind of a problem. So what I was going to say is that these images are of them in alter ego. So if there's like some elaborate costume that Havoc has, it won't appear here. I only heard a QGM yesterday and so glad I did. It's great. Yeah, podcast is great. I'm just like so waiting on the upcoming what's it called? Worlds episode for sure. Old Moody McLaser eyes. How like approachable is Marvel Champions to folks who are not bored / card gamers? It's pretty approachable. It's relatively approachable. I find it really okay, my biggest frustration about Marvel Champions is that they have all these like really good products. Like if you want to go play the Sinister Motives campaign box, it's a box that has like a whole bunch of like Miles Morales in it and like Spider-Gwen and then a bunch of like, you know, Spider-Man ass villains. And for so many people who are like don't care about Marvel but care about Spider-Man, it's a really good box to play. But the problem is you need a core set. The issue is you don't need a core set to buy that expansion. You in fact only need like 7 cards from the core set. Because the core set has a standard encounter set that's used in every single scenario, and it's just 7 cards. So like you could buy this $30 box to play Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen, and then you'd have to proxy 7 cards. But I swear we'll stop talking about Marvel Champions. My favorite thing about Marvel Champions is anytime that you buy a new deck. So like, oh, cool, Wolverine is on the shelf. I like Wolverine. I'll grab the Wolverine. It comes as a pre-constructed deck. And so you can give it to someone, and obviously teaching the game, it's not that difficult. The game has 2 phases, down to 4 from Arkham, down to 9 from Lord of the Rings. But the idea is that you can give someone a deck and it's a pre-built deck. So the barrier for entry is just relatively low. It's like the starter decks if you ever played them in Arkham Horror. It's just like, here's the thing you can do. And it's sick. The fact that you can just give someone a Wolverine and they can start yelling bub and cutting people up. Oh, Wiki, how's it going? EC Nats? US Nats? Kolava. To what response is that? Oh, that is the response to one big, because it's Wiki's deck. Yes, Wiki, what are you on? 60 cards, I think? Thank you. Congratulations. That's fa, mind you, in chat. Hey, Jai, how's it going? Cool face. It's down here. Really like that one. Compulsive Hacker. ABR, friendos. East Coast Nationals with a lot of big hosts. That's the one I was thinking of, yeah. You can get both down at the same time. I'd be so surprised if we get both of these down and then whether it feels good to get both of them down. But like, I have no doubt there's some board states where you will get both of them down. Played 100 card potential unleashed a long time ago once. That sounds painful for everyone. Oh, Havoc is Moody McLaser Ice's brother? Like for real? Other than Banhart, there's not much else, but setup speed of the deck is much faster than the big hosts of Yore. I'm really excited to see that. All right, I'm just gonna wrap up on chat. We'll get into it. Sorry, Kira, 1 second. I think Havoc was a bad guy in Age of Apocalypse, but my knowledge and memory are patchy. But also, can we mention the incredible FFG technology that gave us big Ant-Man Wasp Archangel? We need a Netrunner. Okay, we're back in. We're back in. Ant-Man Marvel Champions. Check this out. This is actually really cool in terms of technology. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it well, but they printed a couple heroes that have phase changing. So the idea is that the card looks like this. It has small Ant-Man and has Scott Lang, except this middle part that is actually connected, that's a seam. So the idea is that when you fold it, it's like a brochure, or I guess like a book. So you can be on one side and you can flip it over and Ant-Man's on the other side. But if you open the thing up like a book on the inside, across both cards, and you can't really tell here, it's giant is Ant-Man. You see how it's like a different ratio because the fold line goes down the middle. You see how it kind of like indents on the side? So it's an identity that you actually have 3 different things you can swap to. Normal guy on couch mode, small ant person, and then really big ant person. And then the whole deck is about deciding what size you need to be in at the right moment because the sizes come with drawbacks, but also advantages. It's really cool. It's like really cool. Also just like simple cardboard technology to have a really big card that folds in half and clamshells down to hide the inner side. They've done this for a couple other heroes recently with Archangel, and then also Wasp came around at the same time as Ant-Man. It's like kind of charming. It's like a really, really cool thing to hold. I like it. Its power has something to do with absorbing cosmic energy and releasing it as kabooms. Age of Apocalypse comes with standard 3, so it's actually standalone. Yeah, you're right, actually. This one does come with its own standard, so technically it's probably the first standalone box, as much as they're not going to advertise that. Yeah, it's probably going to be like include one of the like bad encounter sets from the core set or something. It's going to be annoying. Gold Balls is a hilarious hero name. It's really bad. I think Gold Balls' flavor text calls out as him, I didn't choose the name. And from my understanding from reading comments online, apparently Gold Balls is incredibly important in the modern X-Men canon. Pun intended, because he looks like he's a canon. I don't know anything about X-Men lore. Like, I honestly don't know much about Marvel. I'm not a Marvel person, which is a big roadblock to me enjoying this game, but I've really enjoyed this game. Spider-Man, go Spider-Man. Yeah, I didn't choose the name exactly. If I was on 63, thank you. He's now EGG, peak names across the board. They have a beta in the works for Marvel Champions implementation on Dragon cards. Whoa, for real? That's wild. I didn't know that. Havoc is Cyclops' baby bro. Oh, we're gonna go Marvel Champions so hard. Can someone explain to me what's going on with Cable and then like Hope Summers and then the future? Because everyone has the same last name, and then it involves some amount of time travel. And then some people are like, I think adopted kids, or like, and some are real kids. But like Hope Summers is meant to be some sort of like mutant messiah type character, the first mutant born in like, I don't know, 100 years or some long period of time, Children of Men style. And then Cable is a future man. I don't know it. And if anyone can recommend a podcast that could explain me like nice lore for comic book stuff, that'd be cool. It's so sick. It's so smart. It's really good. There's a Mad Style folded comic card. Hey, dude. Literal big Hoshiko win. Exactly. If you could unfold Hoshiko, like we already have a flip identity, give us an unfold identity. And the biggest Hoshiko. I had to go buy a pack of side loading sleeves for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yo, how's it going? Yeah, a lot of people did that. They bought side loaders and then like taped them together. Some people go on Etsy and spend $20 for this like ridiculous plastic construction that's used to keep Transformers, the card game, because Transformers also has that sort of magic to it. Good luck with sleeving that. Yeah, Sophie, how's it going? Exactly. What higher power do TB and Evangelist worship? Let's soon do a foldable Fim Fang Foom. That's a dragon, right? The almighty credit. The implications of Gold Ball and Contemporary X-Men, something to ponder at the orb for sure. Izzy, how's it going? Cable is Scott Summers' kid. Scott Summers is the Eye Man, right? He's Dr. Optometry. Jumping into the deep end with the Summers family stuff. We're never going to start the stream. Okay, we're going to have to cut it off. We're talking about gold balls. We are talking about gold balls. Comes to the future and he has a techno-organic virus. I know the techno-organic virus because it's on a card and it's annoying when it shows up. I don't know what it means. It's a small roadblock when it shows up, but apparently when he beats it, he becomes stronger. All his stats go up one, which is generally a pretty okay thing to be. Apparently Narco's finding out that Cable is Scott Summers' kid. Yeah. Which he stops with his super psychic powers. Cable and Strife are the kids of Cyclops and Jean Grey. What? Strife is Cable's brother? Strife is spelled like this. Strife, X-Men. Strife is like, he's an important villain. I didn't know he was his brother. He has a visual design that I would describe as being not fun, kind of silly, kind of the era, but like also cannot take that seriously. Just cannot take this man seriously. You look ridiculous. I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of your ability to walk through a door frame. No, I don't know. I don't know anything that's going on in this last X-Men box. The one that came out like a couple months ago. The first season of the 90s X-Men's on Hulu, I think, covers the Bishop Cable Apocalypse art really well, actually, if you want to see the story. I might actually dive into that. The Big Hosh foldout should be the Memento Mori edit the card. Vaguely racist dragon. Yeah, Fing Fan Boom. All I know about Cable is that he's very good in Netrunner. Yes. Yes, very true. All right. Pete the Spider's just a dude? Yeah. But all heroes are just... Now it sounds like a gender joke. I didn't mean it to be. Like, they're all just folks. I think. I don't think there's anyone whose alter ego is like... Actually, no, that's not true. The Guardians of the Galaxy alter egos are still like... You're very clearly a raccoon. Like, you can't hide that. As opposed to, like, guy on couch. Or tree. However you want to do it. I wonder what the over-under on Strife being a Leafield joint. Draco Swap, how's it going? Is that a comic artist from the era? New corporate deck. I have read not very few comics, but very selective comics, the ones that the library had. So it wasn't like, you know, monthly X-Men comics. It was like, here's the old Spider-Man's in a what's it called? In a compendium, or the old Batman's. So I don't know a lot of the stuff from like the 80s and the 90s. New runner deck. That took me like way too long to figure out what we were doing. QTM improves the gender jokes. They're all dudes. Okay, what are we doing? Hosh. Memento Mori. Let's go. So just talk about the deck real quickly. The write-up is really good. We touched on that before, but it's a very thoughtful and very nice write-up. In terms of the things that we have to be careful about, not really. We have 3 of our console. We have 3-0 and Gachapon. 0 just lets it go. We have Gachapon and the price for like tutoring, so we can get some stuff consistently. Raindrops for card draw, moshing for absurd card draw, Baya Bands for relevant card draw, and then we have 3 for mentor. We have cast. We have no liberated accounts, so we're gonna have to be a bit like kind of maybe greed, fermenter, play the matchup. That's a big fun thing about these decks is you generally have to play the matchup more than you just play the deck because you kind of get what you get. Strife is the most Rob Liefeld thing that ever did Rob Liefeld. What is this, Netrunner, my Marvel Champions stream? One day we'll play Marvel Champions. It's like really good, like genuinely really enjoy it because I can sit down and play like half a campaign in 2 hours, an hour and a half, and have a good time. It's just like Slay the Spire. It's just like a roguelite, but without progression. The progression is you change your deck when you're like, I want to do a different one now. Thank you. I don't know if I'd ever refer the price as a tutor effect. Yeah. How's it going? It's an Anarch tutor effect. We're going to play against PE. Yep. All right. I did not study the QTM PE, but we played it yesterday or on Tuesday. So this is the one, assuming Izzy isn't on a new build. This is the one that has like Prana Condenser, classic. Our opening hand here, we can do Gamble into Moshing. Raindrops just sending in centrals. There's a big chance Izzy can't res that much unless she has like a Hansei or like a hedge fund because a lot of the ice in that deck is pretty expensive. I don't think that deck was on Saisentan, but it's been a minute. But this might be a version of Loud, which was what QTM was playing at Worlds. This hand's like okay. I don't want to mosh. The Maw's really powerful if PE doesn't do anything. The Gachapon's a bit sus. Like, I don't even know what we're getting with Gachapon anymore. Like, probably a companion, which is why we can play fewer companions. I'm going to keep this, but I don't love it. We'll get rid of that Maw. We're not going to afford it early. Raindrops to Saisentan time. I do not think that this deck is on Saisentan, so I will disrespect it pretty heavily. Marvel Champions is really good so long as you ignore the rules and play on vibes. Rules is written straight up doesn't work. I haven't had those problems as ice series, but I understand that some people have frustrations because they like do rules updates every once in a while and change fundamentally how certain things work. But I've actually been pretty happy with it, especially the last rules update has been like, I would say pretty bulletproof. I don't think there's anything I've seen that's just like ruled a certain way that doesn't have logic behind it. All right, sending it. It's a Calvin. Okay, so this is the deck. So we're going to trash this now. That's fine. It's almost definitely Vampy. Yeah, on 7 we have to respect Vampy, and I think the deck has a teeny. So we can draw once. I don't really want to mosh the Paladin. I think we can get the Paladin now this turn. We're going to flip with Hosh. So then next turn we can probably just mosh whatever we draw into. Can't wait for PE to rotate. I'd be a bit happier if PE rotated, I'll be honest. But PE hasn't felt nearly as gross as it once did. Our big goal here is to score an early Fuji. That's what we want to do. This is also a very interesting deck that can tempo out. Hansei review, 10 credits. Okay. So I think we will mosh this hand. Double Maw, though. This is an easy deck to get Maw of. I'm going to threaten the Wage Worker sooner than we threaten anything else. Let's just try and tempo out as hard as we can. All right. We got some money. The deck has like 2 barriers in it. They're both the same. They're Tattoo Bola, so this is going to be a bit difficult. I think we can just bounce server 3. What can they score out? House of Knives, Sting, that's fine. Longevity, that's the bad one. So we can check server 4. The problem is like if this is bad for us, we draw. We're definitely going to take down the Wage Workers. What are we drawing into here? I don't know. 0. I think we have enough hit points that we actually can use 0 in the PE matchup and not worry about decking out. So we'll take this down. We don't want to run last click because it's a snare. They can score out like a Blood in the Water. I think there's only 1 in the list though. But I think we're okay with letting this go. We'll just get a Fermenter down. You do have to trash a fair bit of stuff. 3 cards on hand seems fine. Never draw with Gacha or Price in hand. Oh, you like to Gacha there instead of moshing? How hard is Marvel Champions to teach to newer gamers? What's comparable level of mainstream board game that would be comfortable to transition from? That's a very thoughtful question. That's the worst case, maybe. What's the thing is, if you buy the core set, the heroes are actually very straightforward and things don't go like pretty wild until you get later on in the cycles where it's about like managing the top of your deck and looking at your discard pile and doing all that fun stuff. I think it'd be pretty comparable to, I don't know, I guess to like Sentinels of the Multiverse, the early stuff where it was just like all about, yeah, no worries. I think it's like very comparable to teaching someone how to play Slay the Spire because the first decks are all about like just damage and thwarting, the same way that like early Slay the Spire is all about like armor and attack. Maybe that's not the best example because that's not a board game. If anyone has card game knowledge, it's pretty simple. But like my favorite thing about the game is that one of the hardest things a lot of players struggle with, especially when they play Arkham Horror, is that not understanding when to hold cards and when to commit them. And the good thing about a game like Slay the Spire and with Marvel Champions is any card that you don't play, you discard and you draw back up to your hand size. So you can kind of just like play your whole hand as much as possible every single turn. Kind of maybe like Keyforge to some extent. I think it's simpler than Keyforge though. All right, I don't know what server 2 is. Could be a snare. We can get rid of a buzzsaw. It doesn't really work till Kobe. Biobands, can we afford to pay 2 to draw a card? We don't really want to install anything here. I think we're just moshing this hand. Actually, STS is a board game now. I heard nothing about the STS board game, which like, that probably tells you enough. Echelon coming down here is quite fine. We can work on the twinning in the background. I don't think if there's anything we don't run here is a problem. We've got through 3 moshings. That's pretty cool. I'm going to install this so we don't lose it with damage. If Emperor Anasa is really hard for us to break, we're going to need one of our support pieces. Mr. J. Orblong did not like it so. Oh my God, what does that mean? Is that a Slay the Spire thing? I don't know. It's like, it's not Ticket to Ride, but it's also not Magic. Like it's simpler than Magic. Yeah. It somehow looks bad. That was just STS. All right, so that is Daniela on top of something. That's the only upgrade in the deck. No, that's not true. There's Hokusai and there's Mavirus. All right, our money's okay. We flipped in and out. I think here we're okay with server 5 riding. The deck doesn't have Reaper functions if I'm not mistaken. I think we can draw once here and just like buy a R&D. We're pretty happy with the steel skin no matter how it goes. I don't really I'm not incredibly happy to get down multi-axis this soon on. Multi-axis into P is a bit difficult. So we'll go R&D. I slew Spire once. Didn't have a heart for it. Very good. Let's see what Izzy does here. Folks just stop playing Stargate. And like, I get it. In theory, drawing here, we could draw a card that we don't want to lose. But it is what it is. Install card from our grip. Hannah's like not bad. Oh, it's a Prana. Okay, well, we have to trash that. Anemone, nice. So we'll deal with the Prana. Hold on, I know what I'm doing. We'll run the Prana. We'll deal with that. We have no credits, which is fine. We'll get 2, we'll lose 1. Hannah's a connection, so we couldn't use Paladin. I think we'll just drop once, click for credit. We could just like mosh this hand. I just don't want to play the steel skins as much as possible. We know Anemone's coming off the top. We'll draw once and credit. If they purge, they purge. I definitely attempted to buy the remote instead. It was there for a couple turns, Sengren, so I didn't know what it was. Also, how's it going, man? So I wasn't sure what it was. Like the R&D run there is obviously not impactful. Singles and R&D, like the best case is we steal, what's it called? The 5-3 that wins us the game. That's the only thing we really want to do. Thank you for wheelsing. Yeah. It would have been bad. SES board game isn't out yet, but has a playable prototype on Tabletop Sim. I enjoyed it for representing the video game mechanics well while trying to simplify them for physical play. That's the thing I don't understand. It's like, that game is, you can play it on your phone. Like, why do people need another way to play Slay the Spire? I don't get it. Okay, so this is Daniela into Hokusai. So this server is just kind of cursed. That probably is the anemone, so continuing the curse. This is where having a Maw would be good. I'm going to check server 6. I think there's a chance that she's playing us. Cool. I still am going to check it. I think we can mosh 3 of these cards pretty comfortably. I guess we'll start there. Nice. That's our second buzzsaw. Why sad when those mods got moshed? Well, she doesn't have a lot of cards in it. This is a spin doctor, right? I think if she's protecting something... Oh, it's another Prana. Okay, so she's making money off the Prana. So she reses it for 2 credits, we trash for 4. So 6 credit swing. It's pretty good. I don't want to play this. I think she could score out here. Here we can go R&D. We've seen so far 2 Pranas, and we have like 2 cards in hand that have hit the damage. We're actually kind of laughing. We can trash Spin Doctor here. That's a good steal. Hit the twinning. We have to install something here. I think we'll end up installing the Buzzsaw. Yeah. I guess we'll draw and then we'll install this so that we don't lose a credit to Hosh. Starter run is defect, call that STS drone deployment. It was sad when those mods got moshed. I was pretty happy about it. We can't afford them. Why do people need another way to play Skyrim? I think that's a very relevant question and kind of answers the same sort of thing. You can have too much of a good thing. And I don't actually like Skyrim, but I meant Super 5, which was double stack, leading out whatever is there seemed fine. Yeah, I was expecting it to be Hokusai into Daniela into like Fuji, which I don't think we can interact with, but maybe it's fine to find out. Install Miami with Paladin. Sorry, she's gone. Is the main draw for Slay the Spire board game the co-op? I'm out of the loop. Yeah, I think it is, but like you can play co-op Slay the Spire with like a mod that you can get on the Steam Workshop. Like it's there. Okay, we have money issues. That's fine. I think we can afford to price here, but we want to make sure we have at least like, I guess, 5 credits so that we can get down a Maw, I guess. That seems a bit ambitious, maybe. On 8 credits, if we run HQ into Vampire Nasa, that's pretty bad for us. Our economy's not great. Economy's not great. I think we have to get another Paladin down, so I think we're just going to do nothing. We're going to flip in and flip out. She's not doing much. We're not doing much. It's fine. So server 5 is Hokusai. Could be Daniela. Could be both of them. Now here we have an incentive to run HQ. The problem is like we just don't have a good way, right? Like we have to be able to deal with the Nancy. Unfortunately, that is very, very, very expensive until we get another breaker down. I don't think we can afford to put down a Buzzsaw right now. We'd ideally want to do something else. If we price here, we'll have 5 credits with house money to work with. I think we can afford to do that. Spend a fair time doing STS board game mod with some friends. It seemed unplayably bad. Oh, damn. That sentence sounded really positive until it wasn't. Cat, I'm doing well. How you doing? They're not pushing anything. So we're able to set up a Doom rig. I guess the worst case scenario is if you hit like Takobi and something on here. The problem now is our MU is all chewed up. So like we'd probably have to hit a fermenter before we like pop the price. I think we probably do. You already have a Buzzsaw? Yeah, I know. It's just to get the echelon up to 3 strength. So if we have to hit an Anansi, like it's a ridiculous line. But sometimes like if this was cheaper, we could consider it so that we save money on Anansi. It's not great. So like if we probably have to crack the fermenter before we price, because if we hit a program, we're kind of out of luck. I'm gonna do it. It's not great, but it makes us do something. Echelon, Taka, and we lost Pinhole and Price. So I guess if we get an Echelon, we have 2 Echelons down. We'll just do Taka. That's not great. So we'll run Archives here. We'll leave 4 cards in hand, and then we'll draw last click. Gonna be doing my panic deck building for Nats tonight. Which Nats? All right, Mavirus. Oh, we knew about the Mavirus. What are we doing? Okay, Sting will take. So there could be Sting in remote server. That hit the 2 bad cards. Mavirus. We will not draw one here. And we'll draw one now. So if she scores out of Mavirus, it's going to do 3 damage to us. That's fine. The fact that we have the 1 of Blood of the Water means we can take less risks. It's not typical in here, but yeah, you look for Cleaver first. Yeah, we'd definitely rather have a Cleaver out. So that looks like another agenda score. Again, we've seen 2 Pranas. So that's good. We have this. We need to install this. Luckily, it's 3 credits. So we're going to let the board go for a while. We're going to have to run next turn. So I think we're going to drop the Maw. So we can drop the Maw. Yeah, that's probably worth playing. We need to get this down. We obviously should have planned the rest of the turn out. This is a disaster. Don't do this. So I think we like draw up. Like Izzy can res 1 ice maybe. The problem is if Vampire Nasa gets the money back, that's an issue for us. So we have to run next turn because of Taka. So we'll just draw up, keep a hand. Noom is worse once we're set up with Echelon. Like we break the Nemone on server 5 for 1. I'm just gonna take a credit here. Seems as natural 4 strength Echelons. Rashida, nice. Not skilled enough to slam the Price Cleaver. That's what we were trying for. Off topic, but I had an old core set in the full Carcosa cycle for Arkham. Is there just a decent investigator pack that I can grab for a decent 2-player experience? Also, hi. Yeah. 0 click 0. I feel like I'm greeting out the steel skin in hand, that I don't want to play the 0, but you're probably right. Okay, these have to be bad for us. Like, I think there's a snare on the table because Izzy knows we're like gonna face first into it with Hannah. Tanuki, they have like what they're called basically starter decks that you can buy. That is a pre-constructed standalone deck that is monocolor. They have all 5 different factions, and on top of it, it has some upgradable cards. I would start there. They're really good. I think they're all very good, besides the yellow one, which is like, okay. Sounds like a spin doctor? Maybe they're considering the House of Knives. It's a moon pool. That's an important trash. Okay, we have to consider having money. We need to consider having money here. Loud doesn't run snare. Kira, you have made me so much more powerful now. Now I am an immensely powerful. Why does she have 16 credits? How did she get 16 credits? What happened? So if we want to threaten this, we can always like, you know, I guess it's annoying to boost something. These are really bad breakers to use. Yeah, with Taco, like we just have to send 3 credits into the toilet. That's really funny. I think we have to hit the fermenter. Just so we have money to trash this. Like, this seems like sacrilege. Maybe just playing the strike fund is cracked. Probably is. We probably should be boosting here. Get your mob value now. There's no way we're gonna. So right now we have to waste a click running archives. We should have definitely boosted there. Yeah, that was a mistake. So we have 8 credits to boost and break. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 is what Anansi costs. So this is a tag. We can't take that. Yeah, that was a very, very bad play. Because we just run and boost with Taka. Like, we have the 2 breakers that are actually really bad at boosting. I guess none of the breakers in the deck are good at boosting. Damn it, Taka. This will turn on Hushiko, though. But we already accessed the card, so... Cool. Sick. Draw? Yeah. Nathaniel Cho makes me think Guardians were about playing their cards, which is slightly frustrating when I tried building other Guardians. The problem is Nathaniel Cho is cooler than most other Guardians. Like, Nathaniel Cho is really, really cool and kind of interesting because I feel like Nathaniel Cho maybe to some extent only exists in a standalone deck because there's enough card slots to commit to Nathaniel Cho being cool. We used 2 fermenters for 2 this game. That's some big sad. You telling me? We could have boosted after the spin pop. No, because this run disappears immediately. We'd have to do it before Izzy pops a spin doctor. Because as soon as the server disappears, all the pending windows close because the run's no longer on. I'm pretty sure. All right, we're just gonna start hitting 0. Okay, well, that was too many cards. That's not a good way to use one of those. That's not the one we want early either. That's not great. The pay to win deal still stays open? They after the rule's so bad you can do that now? Wait, really? Why? I thought because the relevant window closes. Yeah, this really sucks. Like, Anansi is just way too hard for us. But luckily, Izzy's also not doing anything. We should run HQ. But the problem is, like, if it's Anansi, it costs 700 credits. All right, this will hit a... We wanted to hit a strike fund. Don't hit a steel skin. Good. I'm just going to do it. We're just going to run HQ. If it's a bumper and NASA, what does it cost us? 5? That's fine. That's totally fine, actually. Which investigator from the core set would fit well with Nat Cho? The librarian. Just because Nat Cho's really bad at clues. So you want someone who's good at clues. So Agnes is okay. But best case scenario would be what's her face? Daisy? Daisy. Fenris first, please. Yeah, that's pretty relevant. This is not I need to like focus up. We're playing really that's bad. Well, we still have him. Yeah, Fenris first seemed important. This is a nice way that we can at least farm to Kobe counters. Thank you. Never punished. Yeah. Sting. He's gone now. Never mind. Oh, he's still good. He's still good. Okay, so their Sting now does 4 damage. That is, I would say, worrisome. So this is the first time, yeah, so we can't do that. I'm just going to do draw. We are 1 access away from winning. We could consider going back. If we hit a Fuji, we win. But also, not dying is cool too. Yeah, we were never punished there. Yeah, so that's our big window here. Uh-oh. Right. That makes a lot of sense. She had that set up for a moment. And there's a chance that the Maw is going to win the game. So here in server 7, in terms of the 2 points of the deck, it could be a longevity serum. And that would lose the game. Also, fast advance loses us the game. So I think we have to run now. We have more money than we have common sense. We are going to run server 7. Are we going to range opposite? I don't think so. We think this is an anemone. I don't know what this is. That's a dangerous sting. It is a dangerous sting. But now there's like a couple angles we lose to. Checking archives is kind of important. We should have considered that. She iced it up. I totally forgot about Regenesis, but like we were kind of tilting at how bad we're playing. Got to clear out the moon pools. Yeah, that's the thing we're worried about. Is moon pool in hand is fast advance, and it's all about that one last longevity serum. So we're going to clear out server 7, and we're going to check, not actually have to check archives. Game might end soon. Yeah, game is definitely going to end soon. It's an Anansi. Okay. Not good for us. Cost us 6, but at least now we got a Takobi counter. She paid a lot for that, so moon pool is slightly expensive now. She reses a Hokusai, she goes even lower. If she res a Daniela, she goes lower. Spin. Okay, good. So at least we're gonna get a mob before that. So whatever this is, we probably don't have to trash it. Like that's the thing about game point is like Daniela's not super relevant. But she also now drew, so we can like put down DJ run HQ. We're gonna have a paladin issue. Hopefully we'll just get an installable with DJ. It's Daniela, we won't, so we'll get them all. Steep. Run HQ. Counter ice. Here we go. Wheels run? Oh, yeah, wheels run was right. Whatever. Let's get an installable here. So we want something we can play. Getting down the cleaver is reasonable. We can consider just doing like cleaver and daily cast and making it a hard choice. We also could consider getting down the twinning, which would be good. So we could do like twinning daily casts. That's fine. Like at least with this deck, like you can make some decisions, right? Price or price to cleaver. With 12 cards left in our stack, I'd rather just, I think, do like cleaver and some money. I don't know. I kind of like the twinning and cleaver choice because those are kind of hard. I'm gonna try that. Gotcha is fine too. Yeah, gotcha is pretty good. But the thing is we need something that we install. I guess with gotcha we could use a credit off of this. Biotic. Oh, that's terrifying. So we just have to run back. She doesn't have biotic money. On 4 credits, what can she res? So upgrade, biotic in hand. Archives is an unknown. We could run R&D here. She can't really res anything on 4 credits. I'm gonna run R&D. I think she might have an agenda in HQ, but she discarded 1 Fuji. We'll go R&D here. Install the thing? Yeah, wait. Sorry. Too late. She gave us information. You're right. We're going to lose with the Paladin now, but I think the Paladin leaving is... Yeah, it's fine. On 4 credits, there's no ice she can res besides Tattoo Bullet, so we did gain information. We'll win off this axis, though. Maybe. I need to see to my Paladin. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Paladin will trash 0. Yeah, that's a good point. We don't need this, let alone Hannah. Like we never remember to use Hannah. Yeah, I'm all right. All right, so there's no more 2-pointers in the deck because we found it. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. We're never gonna hit that button. All right, so we could, in theory, we're safe to the Sting because if it scores it, no, actually no, she does the PE damage first, then we take the 3 from Sting. So no, we're not safe to Sting. Spin Doctor in the remote, that's the final one. So she has Biotic and just a whole bunch of unknown cards. So we want to trash the Spin Doctor first with Hannah. And then we will pivot HQ. She needs to get an ice here. That's interesting. Daniela doesn't matter though. The problem is like making us spend 3 on that, which is not gonna be that difficult. All right. Okay. I don't think we raindrops for 2 credits. I think we just check server 7. If it's any agenda, Daniela is not relevant because we win. So I think this is most likely to be a Rashida. It'd be pretty wild. I don't think actually we run this because the only thing we're really weak to, actually no, the thing that we were weak to is Moonpool. But if that's the case, we can run HQ. What do y'all think? If it's a Moonpool in server 7, there's some small line we lose, but then there's a chance that we can just like run HQ, get a Steve, get a Maw, run archives, run R&D, and then we don't have to spend 3 on this. Let's start running HQ, because if we win, we don't have to make that decision anymore. And it's nice to offload those sort of options. Okay, what are we getting? So an installable would be nice. Server sim costs 1 credit to check. Yeah, I did with the refunds, that's for sure. But I don't think we have to do it. So we could get double fermenter and play for a longer game. I don't think it's real. Double steel skin's the play. Yeah, double steel skin is like super safe, but I don't think we're worried about damage anymore. I think we're worried about it maximizing accesses. I like it though. The problem is like, what the heck are we installing with Paladin? I think Paladin's just showing herself out. Technically trashing the daily cast is kind of fine. So Anansi, we maw a non-Anansi card. So I think we run HQ again. Double band? Yeah, double band's okay. I think we can start by running archives. We don't get purged out. So we know the hand is biotic Anansi. We know half the hand. Potentially. So let's run R&D, I guess. Again, the only way we lose is server 7 is, what's the res cost on Moonpool? 3? She shuffled them back. That's a Calvin. Do we trash this through here to go back to see another? Pinhole into 7? Yeah, that's actually much more reasonable. I'd rather her draw a Calvin than anything else. Yeah, pinhole into 7's like really easy. I'd rather pinhole HQ so we can get a Takobi counter. Paul, how's it going, by the way? Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, this keeps her off Rashida. This keeps her off of Moonpool. And with 3 spin doctors out, like archives can just hold for a minute. For what it's worth, she can res Daniela here, but it doesn't do anything. It's a well. She went for the line. She went for it. She was like, there's no way he's running this. She was almost right. Hello, YouTube. Hello. We actually could have let Anansi fire. Oh, no, we actually need 2 cards in hand because of Daniela. Daniela, click a card to access, pay to steal, so we have to shuffle 2. It's random? Good game. Yeah, we got the 2, what's it called, down early. The 2, we stumbled the heck through that, but we got the 2 Pranas out pretty soon. Takobi's good, yeah. Regenesis is the only win, so check archives is fine. Yeah, if we checked archives, like she can score it out and get to 6, which like I don't think we want to do that. Choose. No, my mustache. Yeah, external. We just shaved this last weekend. Yeah, so we check archives, like she can score that out and go to 6. There's no in this deck, there's no the 2-1. The what's it called? I always forget the name of the card, even though it has like a really good theme on it. Hybrid release. It doesn't have hybrid release, so she could at least biotic out a Sting to win. So yeah, running archives, but running server 7, we know what the upgrade is, so it's guaranteed for sure. All right, let's do another one. It's just a pile of cards. Just a big old stack of cards. Like, that was a 60 card deck. We clicked to draw pretty minimally, and we had 10 cards left in their deck at the end of the game. Right? Like, that's the thing. It's like you play Mulch, and Mulch is even harder built into that sort of angle, considering you're playing like Lagu. But it's like turn 2, there's 15 cards in archives. Like, or sorry, new heap, right? Like, what the heck's going on? I left one in the Spindo, not too many outs once the Takobi rig is set up. Yeah, yo, good game, Izzy. It looked like your middle game stalled out like pretty hard. Hey, getting down the two, what's it called? I was playing around snare, which, yeah, Kira reminded me it's not the case. But we were playing around, what's it called, pretty heavily. I lost, no, sorry, we're lucky we got the Piranhas, that's what I was trying to say. Drew not much very action at all. Yeah, seemed like it. All right, PD. So PD, remote servers, maybe border control, definitely Anoetic and Managarm. For that case, we have to go as fast as possible. So the moshing in our hand is good. Pinhole is really important in the matchup in general. As long as there's no MIC, we can face check into the remote server. But this hand is like, this is the sort of deck that can actually close the game out faster than we might be able to set up. So getting a very early, what's it called, is very important. Wow. Banhar is super, super, super important. So how do we keep this hand? This is where like you need more testing with the deck. Like the early pinhole is nice. It's just more important that we find a pinhole by like turn 4 or 5, I would say. This hand we'd probably mosh the daily cast, the maw, and the moshing. I don't love moshing a moshing. I guess we could draw one to mosh from there. Yeah, we'll keep that. They kept, which scares me because they can go really fast. We want to get our flip too, so like we want to be running turn 1, so they can't ice up everything. They didn't even push on remote server. That's like the best case for us. So we have dirty laundries. We have no dirty laundries. Man, feels bad. So if we're running R&D, we're running R&D for single axis. I think we can afford to do that. Do we want to just like stick mulliganed, right? Sorry, they didn't mulligan, they kept. So we could draw once here. Like the only tempo run we have here is raindrops. And I don't think we want raindrops in a nice server. Generally we'll raindrops a remote server. Drafter now is somewhat relevant. So we can draw here and we can just send it. Let's draw, run, mosh. Yeah, whatever. I guess we should run sooner. What does it matter? Like we could steal Ikua, but we're not gonna run last click. Yeah, whatever. Maybe we can run back if we steal an agenda if we really want to, but we just want to flip. Okay, this looks like it's the YDL version, so this is probably on the what's it called? The Midnight 3 Arcology list. I don't have a lot of experience into that list, besides it's also on Big Deal and like too big to fail. Early Cleaver deals with Hagen somewhat. Daily cast is fine. I think we want to keep the second moshing. I think it's just like such a absurd card. Here, I think we'll put the daily cast down. It'll pay off before the game's over, that's for sure. Oh, chat log. What can y'all tell me about the Midnight 3 Arcology version? I've like seen it once. So like it has Big Deal as a win condition. I think it has enough recursion. Like how does it get the YDL back? But like I don't know if you play the YDL here or whether you wait for the Midnight 3. It's on Seamless. We need to make sure that we're aggressive enough that Funky Man doesn't get to 17 credits. 2 pinhole is good. I'd argue that we could just raindrops HQ. We know 1 in 6. Yodel PD plays wraparound? Oh, cat. Yeah, right. That's good for the cleaver. I think we just raindrops HQ. They've gone through... Wait, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39... Yeah, they've gone through nearly 10 cards. Let's just send it. Gotta force reses, so they can't play government subsidy or whatever they're on. Enigma, good hit. I have trouble getting full value out of moshing. I think I'm too precious about my cards. Yeah, Nat, when you got 3 ofs of everything and you're playing a 60 card deck, you just send it. You just got to embrace the Anarch. Like we got 2 cards here off that. So that's a reasonable trade off of that. We're going to hold Gachapon until later. Actually, we probably just mosh this hand. We're going to have way too many cards though. We didn't get an access. That's totally fine, I think. The accesses here are not super relevant. But if we mosh here, Thomlong... If we mosh here with the steel skin, we end up drawing way too many cards and we discard cards. That's probably not the worst. I think we just do Gachapon. Installing the cleaver, like I don't want to show it. I don't expect program destruction. Gacha now? But what are we Gacha nowing for? Like I don't understand what card we would pull here that gives us any value. Like Gacha for Buzzsaw and run HQ for 1? I think I'm going to wait until their turn so that if we hit a Fermenter, we have a Fermenter. If we hit a Paladin, we have a Paladin. That's like, you know, juiced out. And like they don't have information to play around. I'm not sure what we want to hit here. Unless it's like go for a Buzzsaw. Your full rig? Yeah, but we'll get our full rig like on the start of next turn. It'll be fine. Full rig is funny though. That is technically true. Okay, they YDL'd after the spin. That's really nice. So on their turn, we're going to crack this. Cleaver, Echelon, K2P, Turbine, Moshing, Striking. This is the problem with things like Turbine. It's a one of. So here it's our choice to get down the Echelon or to get down the Turbine. I'm going to go for the turbine because it's one of in the deck and there's no way to bring it back as much as they don't want to pay 2 credits for this thing right now. Shuffle 3 more cards back. We don't want Cleaver back. We want Echelon back. We want Moshing back. And I think we want Strike Fund back because we have 3 zeros. We're going to get rid of a Sure Gamble and a Cleaver. Totally fine. Okay. All right. We're just going to mosh this hand. That's our... Wait, hold on. Let's draw once. I think we have to contest the archives more than we have to contest the Spin Doctor because we want to go to flip. All right, we're going to mosh these cards. Too many cards. Okay, so we can at least buy a bands, archives, and we can get a Fermenter down and a Paladin. Yeah. You can shuffle Turbine in. Oh, I forgot we could shuffle it in. It honestly surprised me when it asked to shuffle cards back. Yeah, but we probably should have shuffled that back in. All right, so they shuffled the 2 face down, so they've fixed their agenda flood, so HQ probably isn't as hot anymore. We can continue to draw here. That's the only thing that really makes sense. Install a card playing 1 fewer. So we don't really want to show a breaker. We'll get down to Paladin, and then we'll just install a Fermenter to give us some later game economy. I think Hannah's kind of not the best here, but the second Fermenter actually is probably a bit worse. I think the second Fermenter is a bit worse here. It's just hard to like use Hannah when there's defensive upgrades, and I don't think we're going to see on nice remote servers. If it was Asa, I'd take the Hannah. Against PD, I'm not sure if Hannah's amazing. I'd be really surprised. As much as like there's no real downside to Hannah. Okay, the problem is that this is very likely to be... Firstly, we have no idea what the order of the agendas are that are going to the remote server because it's not ASA, so we can't really pinhole intelligently here. But this is more likely to be a Gatekeeper or a Magnet. So like we could install the Echelon and just send it. We could do Echelon Cleaver, send it. And then if it's a code gate, it's a code gate. If we do that though, so we want to make sure Drafter doesn't fire. So now we can break Drafter for 2. If they res a Cleaver, we can go back, but then we have to deal with Managarm. We're definitely going to contest this because they're going to seamless out an agenda. There's a question we could put a Cleaver down here. It saves us a click. But here we can double click. Yeah, nice. We called that right. We can at least double click through a Managarm, which is probably worth the credits. Get Hagened? Oh my, yeah, getting Hagened would be really bad there. That's so true. It's a Managarm. So our 2 clicks, we don't expect this to be an Ikoa, so I think spending 2 clicks is better than spending 5 credits. We're going to steal an off-world or Rashida. Okay. And we'll trash that. So the remote server is not very good. We're going to retain our digital side. Hagen would have been really bad there. I don't know if they would have pushed behind a Hagen because they saw us remove a Cleaver. Like there's some, you know, logic behind that. As much as it's not like sometimes you just play the hand you have. But I think Drafter would have been worse than Hagen. Returning a YDL just can't be correct. Wow. Okay. Hannah would have been okay. Nice. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so now we need a buzzsaw from HQ for like many reasons. So we can like Sure Gamble run this. This might be a Tranquility. I don't think we can really afford the Maw. It also could just be a Mavirus. The list probably runs 1. I just don't know what they put in here that like we feel bad about. I think we can not get Mavirus here. We can consider getting like the Maw down, but I just don't see anything in the server that will access that we wouldn't want to trash. We want to make sure we're not, yeah, right? Like we can't Maw that. We can get down another Fermenter. We can draw. We have stalled out on draw a bit, and like we need to find our 3 copies of Buzzsaw. It's a 1 in 12. We're drawing clicklessly at least. I think we have enough money. Whatever. At least it's free. 2 clicks for 2 credits next turn. Sick. Oh no, for 4 credits. Never mind. That's a bit better if we pop it now, which we want. I think this list doesn't have a Mavirus in it because it spends so much influence on so much other wild stuff. It's like the too big to fail is like 3 influence or something. Here we definitely need to figure out how to go HQ. Just going to keep us honest on the remote server. Okay. We need a good top deck here. Not amazing. I think that's a Spin Doctor. Let's draw. Okay. We'll start with this. We'd love to raindrops into this last click with an empty enough hand. Let's see what we can get here. Yeah, some money's good. So it's Taka, Echelon we don't need. Takobi is like really extra. I think it's probably the Taka because they're pushing their remote server every single turn. So we'll get the Taka down. I think Takobi is kind of useless in this matchup. It's only really good against Braun, right? Posted list was 1x Mavirus. Thank you, Ryan. This is where, like, I don't honestly think we need Takobi and Turbine as much as, like, I don't think this list is also on Brawn. So we'll just take the Taka and go. So here we can just run it. If they purge out a Fermenter, it's totally fine. And we can Raindrops HQ last click. Trank, yeah, that makes sense. So we want to keep that down, and we'll just Raindrops HQ, we'll discard a card. For the high octane runner scrub, how's it going? We're planting into Enigma for value. Nice. All right, we have a Banhar, that can help. I don't know what the worst card in our hand is. I don't feel like we want to use 0 on this hand. Takobi's good for Gatekeeper, but yeah, either Turbine or Takobi is fine for this matchup. Yeah, if we hit a Gatekeeper, it's going to be a problem. I think ideally we're Banharing it. And we need to put some pressure on HQ, because once they get to 17, right, like Big Deal is a problem. As much as I think they'll probably bankrupt themselves. If they do it, then I guess they like pull back a YDL with Vitruvius over advanced or something. But like we're one buzzsaw away from absolute nonsense. I guess we put that down. We can afford this. We can definitely afford this. Let's draw once. So our turn is draw, twinning, run. Then we have one click based off of what we draw off of. Okay. I don't think we install this with this, because we're going to get the value off of this run. The amount of companions in this list seems totally fine. It's a virus. Okay. We played around that before. This we will definitely trash. So that slows us down on economy a bit. We can play a Banhar. I think we're fine showing a Banhar on this hand. They're not really doing anything. We just need to get HQ pressure here. We definitely could have cracked the Fermenter. We played around that once. We decided not to play around it again. And like the amount of options they had for their mode server was largely just like Mavirus and I think Spin Doctor or the Tranquility. So here, I think we can just like draw and discard these two. Like we need to go deeper into their deck, that's for sure. Yeah, that's totally fine. Cool. Want to save it for the Maw? We are. That's what the Paladin's going to be for next turn. But like the Maw is useless because we don't have any server that we can run. That makes sense, right? Like there's nothing they put in server 2 that we want to trash, that we don't want to trash. The other option is like put down Banhar here because now they have a window. And it's very likely to be a code gate. That's an issue we have. Yeah, we're considering putting down the Banhar. The thing is, like, I don't want to lose any of these cards to damage. But again, I think, yeah, install Banhar is fine. Yeah, we might be too precious with this. Like, I feel the squeeze of, that's our last Maw. So if we don't install it, we're going to have MU issues for the rest of the game. So we can consider face checking into this. We can get our Cleaver down first. That is probably good enough. And then like if it's a Gatekeeper, it's a Gatekeeper. And if it's a Magnet, it's a Magnet. But here there's going to be an exchange of tempo for sure. Because they're going to score out some absurd 4-2. That is something for them. If we want to dig for Buzz, why did we discard 0 earlier though? Whoa, hold on. Because our hand had like the one of Maw, and we had to commit to getting that down sooner. This is a really weird board state for them. Always get a Maw back later. Yeah, but it's like so convoluted. We're going to be stuck on this board state for a while. This only gives us enough to trash, what's it called, the Rashida. But I think there's a chance that there's an agenda in here because they've hadn't a while to do anything. And at least we're threatening Rashida, but our economy is now just like this Fermenter. Yeah, there you go. Nice. We called them on that. Okay, it's probably Banhar credit. At least we got money back because of these folks. We'll go from there. Credit's actually the worst. Hold on. Sorry. I'm just gonna draw because we just lose. We're gonna lose the credit. Yeah, we don't want to click for credit there because we lose it to Hoshiko immediately. So we'll just draw. Cool. So now we have full understanding that this will be some amount of cards and some amount of damage. Taking 4 off Fermenter is like not amazing, but we can consider it. The Mavirus is really good. Otherwise, we would got this like this much further. The list doesn't run NGO front, does it? Paladin, Hosh, Fermenter, Taka, Banhar. All right, Banhar is on server 2. We have 4 credits. This is broken for free. This is broken for 2. This is broken with her face. Is there any reason why we don't send it? 5-star turn triggers, the best type of Netrunner. Anarch. Actually, Sable has some work to be said. So I think here we consider just sending it. Like an advanced card has to be an agenda, right? I think it has to be. We can't get down Hannah. Yeah. I think we just send it. Like, I think this deck is not an NGO front. So that we know that this server is only going to cost us 2 credits. It's going to cost us a whole bunch of damage, but it's only going to cost us 2 credits. So can we install a fermenter first? I think we do. Because I don't think we can afford them all. We can't afford Hannah because she's a connection. So we're just going to send it. The most damage we're expecting to take is 3. The remote is a losing line. You spend at least 4 now? Yeah, I don't think so. What do you mean it's a losing line? For them? Feels like they might be flooded up. It's definitely Iqua single seamless. Oh, yeah, Iqua single seamless. You're totally right. So we have to make sure, thinking, we might take the damage here because we need to make sure we have 2 credits to access. So we have currently 4 credits, 6 credits. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we actually have to take the net damage here because then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah, we have to take the damage here. Sick. Thanks, Izzy. I'm not on my game today. It's been really sloppy. But yeah, it has to be an Iqua. There's nothing else that really makes sense here. That puts us at least on game point. It's like, I know this is a Midnight 3 ecology list and they lose all basic fundamentals. Yeah, thank you. About like what the deck probably is, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's also still playing Iqua. So good with the IRL started turn triggers for this deck. Thank you, Jai. Oh, you got so good. Yeah, the ordering that started turn triggers does actually matter. Firstly, remembering them, but also like you don't want to pull your Benhar until you see what host draws. Like there's some of them don't matter. Some of them do matter. I think that's another agenda in there. Anyone could have done what I did. All right, Fermenter. So we're going to do host first. Okay, Trickster Paladin. I think this is still an agenda. Again, this server costs us 2 credits if we want to take the damage. I think it has to be an agenda. We have an incentive here to install something. So this could be another like low value fermenter. Right, they clearly have seamless in hand. So I think this is a low value fermenter. If we fire the price, we'll be on 3. I think we just send it. I don't think we have to really do much here besides send it. We could lose the price. I think that's the one card that we don't want to lose here. I'd argue that we're so close that just getting the 0 down is good enough. Yeah, we'll just get the 0 down. So again, this is damage, this is free, this is 2. We can trash a Rashida, we can threaten a Spin Doctor, whatever. Good thing about finding your code gate breaker, the twinning to win? Yeah, no, if we get it down twinning, flushing HQ, maybe not, but we can always flush HQ, then flush R&D, and then like have the game unlock. But they're away, damn, that's the one we wanted. They're like pretty far away from the big deal, which is like their big power play to get out of here. Taka's been so good, especially because we're stealing agendas, right? Like it's now a 2 credit per turn econ card. And like the turbine was really much better here than the Kobe. Yeah, there you go. Good game. The deck didn't do anything. Thanks for the game. Like that's unfortunate. I think they just didn't draw what they needed. We got the Managarm down early, but like it was just, can you deal with this over and over again? And luckily Hosh has like this sort of click compression, little on all these companions that we could just go there. Blue Maca. It literally was Blue Maca, right? Just 2 credits a turn to do the thing you want to do every turn. Great. YDLPD swingy? Yo, XDG, how's it going? I believe it. Like, to me, it seems like the highs are absurdly high, like, you know, YouTube Shorts high. And then the lows are like the deck is just less consistent than like normal PD because there's no anoetic, right? Like it's playing influence on all this like flashy stuff as opposed to like if there's an anoetic there, luckily we had a pinhole, but like, you know, it's a problem. So yeah. Yo, Dan, thanks for the game. Got pretty flooded early, not enough ice. Yeah, you could tell. You could definitely tell. I almost beefed into the Iqua, right? Like if chat didn't have my back, I wouldn't have respected the Iqua because I thought like you were just super flooded. And yeah, I probably should have seen the Iqua because I haven't played against this deck enough to know like what it can do. And I just totally forgot like good HB fundamentals, which is only slightly embarrassing. We've been playing kind of sloppy today. We'll pull it back. Tagobi's totally fine here. It's not worse than Turbine. It kind of was, because we actually don't get enough counters. Like, I think you're right. Like, on average in HB, it's probably fine. But in that matchup, it's a huge difference, because we'd actually have to be breaking a certain amount of drafters for 4. Right? Like, we broke every drafter for 2 as opposed to breaking every 1 in 3 drafters for 4, whatever the math comes down to. I think you're right. Over, like, enough games, that's not the case. But, like, the remote server was double drafter for a while. That's obviously, like, not normal. But you know what I mean? All right, this is a cat. This is a cat smurf. I'm calling it. Turbine Echelon Massacre is exactly drafter here. Yeah, exactly drafter. NYC SOS, November 18th. That's the Sovereign of Subways. Looks like we're gonna be doing some casting. Assuming this is cat. With cats, they're many smurfs. Not sure what sort of op this is. It's not a cat smurf? Yeah, that's what a cat smurf would say. Cat. C2C go to SOS. Thanks, you too. Hey, Crower, how's it going? The deck is on 13-ish ice. I've definitely double mulled into no ice. Oh, 13 in PD? That's not that bad, considering you're on 44. I think like 14 is what you'd expect. All right, so this op could be like facet, like acid op. It could be kill op. It could be like Jeff ass / Jackmate ass op, which is like, that deck is so cool. Banner is like one of the better things against op, because op is like very gear check heavy in the early game on a bunch of those lists, but the rest of this hand sucks. Yeah, that's better. We can at least hit 0 a couple times. Cat is stream sniping. Cat doesn't stream snipe. Cat just smurfs a lot. But Cat doesn't stream snipe. Still looking for teammate for NYC. Yo, Dave, did you put your name into the like the roster thing, the looking for teammate thing? I'm still in the stream chat. Well, now you're sniping. Now I see the concern from Kato. Also, Kato, how's it going? Also, maybe it's Kato. Could be Kato here. Best. Did we say best of luck, have fun? Yeah, they did. Okay, cool. So this can give us a read on what the deck is. We want to get an access anyways. I think we can like drop the 0 and hit it. Like Mystic on turn 1, Banhar on turn 1. We're just gonna like embrace the randomness. Nah, don't feel great about that. So if we see like an urban here, we have some idea that this is like facet. It's a Svi. That's probably acid-based op. They took a mulligan and they dropped a Svi. Now the Svi is going to be a problem. I don't think the Svi is going to be a problem on this turn. Like they're not going to trash their HQ ice, so we can lead this. But this is a card that we have to trash. The problem is if we trash it, we can't play our daily casts. It's a bit perverse that we played 0 and didn't use it. Oh, no, we did use it. Okay, no, everything's good in the world. And then we have like a pretty good moshing next turn, but we need to get our economy down because it's going to be a credit check really soon. I've got a team of 2 looking for a 3rd. Oh, sick. Do you know what factions y'all are playing, or like it depends on the 3rd? I know there's one team coming in from Montreal. Our window has closed, and rightfully so. That's a really good card to keep. Ah, that's even better. So I think we're going to try and keep the Mystic. I think Maw is obviously very good into this matchup. Can we afford a Maw this soon? Actually, let's find out. We might be able to. That's good. Totally open up XGG on Discord for DMs. Heck yeah. Am I wrong to want to get Maw down and just start saving HQ cards? This soon in this game, yes. This game is generally about controlling the table because this op deck, if it's playing Facet op, if I'm not mistaken, and I haven't played that much against Facet, has no economy cards besides assets. So if you can control the table, you can control the game. So like just trashing from HQ, trying to win off the deck is much harder than trying to just stop them from doing their thing. So we're going to try and stop them from doing their thing. Generally against most asset decks, you don't just want to like maximize accesses. You want to control the table because they win by having a table. So this is the sort of deck that will like seamless launch out on top of Rococo's, which is super cool. So we can go down to 4 credits. That's enough. Because whatever this is, like if they res it, it could be a Maryland and then they trash it to Svi. So as long as they don't have anything res, Svigator is like not amazing. It's still really good though. We can bounce off of this and come back. 3x extract and facet op. Okay, that's different than a lot of the kill ops, like the blood in the water, blood in the sand ops. That makes sense. That's the weird pause there. So this is the thing that they will Svi. So it's either 2 net damage. I think we're going to take the 2 net damage. I do not understand why this deck doesn't play Public Trail. I think Public Trail as like a 2 over 3 of this deck generates so many instances where the runner doesn't have 4 cards in hand. I don't know why this deck doesn't run Public Trail. We're going to have to take this. Should price install Maw from hand? You think, in case we hit a Maw? Okay. It's an urban? I guess we're trashing that. So there's nothing that ruins us in server 1. The problem is we can't make a run. So we could run HQ here. If it's an SDS, we can't steal it. We could draw so that they don't Audacity IZF and we die. That's kind of nice as well. I'm going to try and not die. But they're going to speed Agor the Formicary for, what is it, 4 credits and a 1 cost card, which is rough because it's going to be another urban. At least it won't come in with tokens. Don't you lose to Angelique here? Potentially, yeah. No, because it's not threat 3. I think Angelique only does something on threat 3. Oh, the Axis, yeah. If it was an Axis on the Angelique, we would lose there. If it's the Axis, yeah. Reaper Function is a card? I'm assuming this is more of the fast advance version than the Reaper Function one. But yeah, Reaper Function is a card. The thing is, we knew what this one was. Like, we already accessed this one. So we didn't have to be worried about it. But yeah, this is why we keep our money up. He did, but never punished. I doubt they iced up an Angelique, but it would have been such a cool play. It's just like not the play you expect. So this is, again, why the matchup is so important, why you just keep your money up. So here we just want to take a credit. We want to run. We want to hit it. We want to trash. Like, we need to contest this fee. If this is a border control, they res for 3. If it's an envelopment, it's fine. If it's a sandstone, it's fine. If it's an Afshar, it's really bad. But like, if we just trash this, so if this is a Formicary, we're in a bad spot. We have to take this down. I mostly want to take it down so they don't get Sphere money. Reaper Function doesn't exist. So we can bounce off of this. Is that better than our normal click? I think it might be. This deck is though very good at repairing Maw because it has so many like tricks to be able to produce that instant speed. Did we click for credit instead of mawing? Or sorry, hip zeroing? Yeah, that's scuffed. But it has so many ways at instant speed to produce Spin Doctor. So I think we're just gonna trash it. Oh yeah, Cat's doing it on purpose, so you don't think it's Cat. It could be Cat. Still could be Cat. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna lose a credit, so we can just do credit Paladin. I think we're gonna have to install things throughout the game. It's good to have this money in their back pocket, and we don't want to end on a credit because we're gonna lose it immediately to Hosh. So like this is again where we just have to keep our money up. I think the Maw actually was probably too expensive because it's not worth much. We don't need the MU, and we can't afford to like do Maw runs. Hey Pineapple, it's going good. How are you doing? Welcome. We did some spring cleaning on Twitch. We have new like buttons and stuff underneath the video. Oh, it's all good. So they're oppoing us. That's not good. Again, I don't understand why the deck, like if they instead of oppo had public trail, we would have lost the game. I do not understand why the deck is on oppo. Like I obviously do, but like public trail just wins the game on the spot. Like I don't understand. There's so many board states where this deck doesn't have enough money and enough cards in hand. Just public trail into end the line. Why do you have to give me a chance to clear the tags? Can we clear the tags even? We can do... We want to hit the moshing. I don't think we zero here. It's a 1 in 3 that it's really bad for us. Thinking. Because like we need to clear at least 1 tag. And be on 4 cards. Or we can clear both tags. So we can do credit, credit, clear, clear. That's fine. We want to swap out of Hosh land anyways. What program are you using to play with? Mason, how's it going? You're not on Twitch, but the link is underneath the Twitch video. It's a website called jinteki.net. jinteki.net. It is the free web client made by the community that allows you to play Netrunner. It's sick. It's really good. A lot of rich runners that make public trail look sad in HQ, but not this early in the game. Thank you, Thanos. Okay, so we have a Paladin. That's a Paladin. We need to trash the board, so we need to get as much money as we can quickly. I don't think there's much that we want to price for here. I think we'd rather draw and just mosh. Yeah, that's great. Okay, Baya is kind of sick. We need to make sure we have cards in hand. They could, in theory, res the thing that does 2 damage to us. You know the one. Hostile. So we'll start here. We'll draw 2 cards. My theory is that NYC is Cat, but then Cat Chen is in chat right now, so it's now as someone else. Maybe everyone shares this account. Maybe this is like the official SOS. All right, it's a Svi. It's not unique for some reason, but lore makes sense. All right. If they can't use the Svi, they can't use the Svi. Give me a false lead. Oh, that's why they're playing Oppo. I stand corrected. No, Paladin. Okay, we're fine. Want to save the bans for trash? We did. We're just like guessing that there's nothing on the table that's like that expensive. Like, sorry, on average, we're spending 3 credits of trash cards. We haven't seen any Marylands. We saw 1 urban, drudge work. So it's a bit of a random, like if it's a Rashida, we don't get full value from it, but yeah. False lead. Okay, now I can feel better about Public Trail and not Oppo. So they shuffle back 2 SDS drone deployments. We have to actually trash this because not only is it like a SV, but it gives them value. So here we need to install a card. I think we're going to go to do the cleaver. So we'll do credit, gamble, run server 6, Moss fired 0 times, but the threat is real, don't worry. And then we'll just install this. We die to end of the line Oppo. Sorry, Public Trail, end of line. It's doable. This is probably like a pretty good untested deck or unseen deck for the SOS event. All right, that has to be a code gate. Maybe it's a Stavka, that'd be pretty cool. But I'm assuming it's a Hordem or an Afshar or a Magnet. If that's the case, we probably want to run this one. How do we do that? We install our Buzzsaw for 2 and we run it. It can be that simple. False lead Ob makes me think Lucas. It could be Lucas. Lucas is definitely in that den of SOSers. Why not Pinhole? For what? For this? I don't think we need to. I think we'd rather them spend some money in this. Like, this is a nice thing when they have like an urban renewal, they're gonna win the game. But paying a credit as opposed to just running it? I don't know. I don't know. Waylon runs a lot of trash program Sentry. This deck probably runs none, maybe 1. If they trash or cleaver, it's like kind of fine. I don't think I'm that worried about it. I think the worst face check here would be like an Enigma or an Afshar, because that actually eats our tempo. All right, let's go. Stop also for 2, run it, lose all breakers, cry. Yep. If we lose both of these, it's really bad. But yeah, that's more than I'm expecting. These sort of acid lists don't run program destruction because they generally don't capitalize on it that well. Maybe there's like 1 Stavka because it's such a good card, but this is what I expected it to be. Hordem would have been worse. Urban, we did math bad. At least they won't Svi that one and we get a Maw, so that's good for us, I guess. We'll get them the Fermenter. Is it better for us to price something? No. I think the only good price hit here is like a daily cast. It's wild that this deck is not on liberated accounts because like it's one of the best targets for the price, like in the entire Netrunner. All right, well, we have to deal with that next. Is it bad I'm rooting for the blowout res? No, I see. It's what we're going to do for the rest of the night is like play some rig destruction. So this now we can pinhole it because we kind of messed up. It's obviously not a good use of our resources. Awesome, got to learn how to play. This looks super fun. Mason, it's really good. Oh, that's going to be, what's it called? The Formicary, yeah, it's annoying. It's really, really good. There's a Learn to Play video up on the Null Signal Games YouTube channel. And also the FFG old Learn to Play video is also like entirely the same. The rules haven't really changed. Just some of the like the text on cards. They say like instead of in a server, they in the root of a server, but like you'll be fine. But yeah, it's really good. Netrunner good, yeah. Even naked Stavka fire? Okay, so the problem is this, they're gonna make the Formicary into something else. So we can pinhole this. The board state is slipping away from us because did we click for a credit last click like an absolute chump? No, we played Fermenter. Okay. Okay, so here we need to trash this next turn. Trashing the Svigator is actually arguably more important as long as we had a steel skin in hand. They're going to try and set up basically a thing where they score out an Audacity after they like hit us with 4 damage with the Urban Renewal. That's an issue for us. So, excuse me, we're going to just take this turn off to like get money. So I think we just need to draw credit, and then we'll hit Strike Fund. And then we can pinhole next turn. Price as soon as possible is great. I just don't know what we're pricing for. Like, if we hit a daily cast, yeah. If we hit a breaker, no. If we hit a 0, I don't care. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what we want to get on the table this exact turn for it to matter. This is probably an Azyef or a Hostile Arc. Okay, it's neither. Run Formicary 2 times your tempo. Wait, what? Oh, did the Strike Fund? I like the line. Sometimes it's right. All right, so we're going to pinhole this. We're going to probably get oppoed on this upcoming turn, but hey, it is what it is. What can we price for here? Price for literally whatever, but I think it's not, doesn't cost 1 because then we're probably going to install a card. And we need cards in hand, right? Like it's not that free. So, okay, hold on. So say we price here. We have 36 cards. I don't know what the 36 cards are, but like, what would we actually want to get out of the deck? Like a Hannah? Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. Fenris would be like mid. Companions, Taka, okay, maybe. Banhar is useless right now, but okay. There's still a lot of events, but like, it is what it is. We don't really care about any of these. It's like, okay. It's not amazing, but it's not horrible. Okay, I'm just gonna pinhole this. We will fermenter. We just have to make sure that we don't spend too many clicks, because the problem is like they will do Azief into like rezzing here, potentially hostile architecture is not uncommon. Banhar charges form a carry to 1 damage. Yes. Yeah, I don't mind it. So this clearly is something that we have to care about. I think running server Spin Doctor doesn't really matter. I think we're likely to trash this. Again, we just have to keep them off targets, but they're going to get the final urban. The problem with the Spin Doctor is we probably should have done the Spin Doctor before the urban. They already had 3 urbans in there, so whatever. Reaper function. Okay, so that is the line that they're setting up. So many times when the urban is on 1, people set up like a fork there where they have something on the table. So they could have done, that's a line that beats, in theory, like that line beats Audacity into Azief, into Steelskin, into this thing. All right, so we survived that turn. We can run server 8. They'll probably pop it. I'd actually don't really care about it because they have to pop it anyways because they're going to try and kill the Formicary and they want to get a 1-coster. So we'll just draw up. Yeah. Mari's basically send it the deck. We've been sending it a bit. But like also we need to keep our credits up. And we need to keep cards in hand, right? Like there's some weird fork there where like they res a hostile architecture. We trash this on 2 cards, and then like we don't have enough time to draw up, and then they hit us with like the Reaper function into Audacity, into Azief. Yeah, you see, they pop the Spin Doctor on their own because they're gonna trash the Formicary to get another urban on the table. Yeah, urban goes back, so the grind continues. So we didn't have an incentive to run that. Yeah, okay, good. So there's probably another Formicary somewhere. These lists are usually on 3, some are in 2, but the pinhole's out. So this we can probably just like fire raindrops into and like lose to Stavka, but this turn we can probably price. I think ideally we're looking for a Noom here, not the Echelon. But we have many turns before this actually matters. Many turns. We've mod 1 card they did not care about. Let's go. Okay, Echelon, Fermenter, to Kobe daily casts. I think Echelon's the one we probably want. Actually, daily cast is probably what we want. Are we really worried about are we worried about it? I think just having money is correct. Yeah, these are all like, you know, all the good cards you put in the deck. Echelon, please. Kira, for you, I will. Cool. Those are all gone now. I thought it was a Gachapon for a moment. That's fine. So we still need to install something. It's not that hard. But we're going to try and weave in and out of Hosh. There's a chance that this doesn't allow us to install something. Thank you, Stavka. Yeah, this also now deals with Formicary as much as there's only 1 more. We'll draw once more and then we'll install whatever card we think is the most relevant here. If we do Gachapon, we have to have the Gachapon to hit, and then we have to hit something that costs more than 2 credits, which is unlikely. So unfortunately, I think we just play a free Turbine. And free, I mean 1 credit. Or we put down in Twinning. I think the Twinning is more relevant for us. We're assuming maybe on Envelopment. And maybe the Turbine's actually okay because they're on Sandstone. Isn't Turbine like installing money? Yeah, if we ever run into their ice. I think the Turbine was better than Twinning here. We're not trying to get multi-access. This is our multi-access. It's called Maw. How many more pinholes do we have? 1. Yeah, I don't think the Twinning matters. I think that's correct. We're not controlling the board. We're trying to, though. So the Gachapon can hit the Turbine in our hand, right? All right, running archives here matters. They could res a Formicary. This deck can score out. So we're going to run archives here. We have to watch out because there's STSs, right? Like we sometimes have to forfeit some of these. Send a message. Uh-oh. So we're now on threat. So they actually could oppo us on the turn the urban's going to go down. It's a tree line. So yeah. This Turbine seemed pretty good. So how do we deal with that? We can try and win this turn. I think running HQ actually is kind of reasonable here. I think we're just gonna send it. Like, what punishes us? Stopgone HQ? That's not a real thing. So Hermes pilled. My first instinct is get access on HQ to bounce to remote ice. Okay, this one's actually pretty expensive. Cost us 3. But like, we're probably getting oppoed here. They didn't shuffle the oppo back in though. And some of these lists are only on 1 oppo. But we'll just win here on a single. I'm not scared, you're scared. We would love that to be twinning. At least if they oppo us here, we have a window. We need steel skins in hand. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. So they can give us 4 tags. Why do you need oppo? This is the point of game where like public trail doesn't do that much, but it still does a lot. All right. How do we deal with this? I think we just have to run HQ, run server 11. Because the thing that we lose to is urban renewal into Audacity SEF. And if we can stop that from happening, we can stop us from dying. We also make sure there's no Reaper functions on the table, which like we're in control of that. We just also want to make sure we're not running through border control last click, because if they res a border control last click, they can go get a Reaper function that will fire and start a turn, and then we take 6 damage without any steel skins. But for what it's worth, no one's seen any steel skins. So they probably think our hand is loaded with steel skins. Because we had 3 steel skins in the bottom 27. That'd be a really nice draw off of Hosh. Turbine raindrops the urban. Oppo for 2. No way they're on AZF with false lead Sam. Oh, that's a good point. And they're on SDS too. Yeah, this might just be closer to Oppo. Okay. So this thing. So ideally what we need to do is not die to whatever's on the table. We need to clear 2 tags. No, if we don't clear the tags, we die to double end of line. We have to clear the tags. So we have to clear the tags in server 11. Because if this is a Reaper, we die to this. If they're on Audacity AZF, which they might be. Okay, so our line is, we can install a card, run server 11 Maw, run HQ Hope, C2, clear a single tag. That's like kind of okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. Check archives is not important unless we're going to lose. I wonder if we can moshing here. The thing is, like, I don't want to install any of these cards. The other option is running this, but like this is very likely to be border control because we haven't seen any. So then we have to do this twice, which is like kind of expensive. If you clear 2 tags, you never die here. We die here if we clear 2 tags, and this is what's it called? Well, okay, we die if they have it's a Reaper on the table. We can check that. That's no problem. But then we only die if they have Audacity SEF. Clear single tag still loses to urban firing and end the line? Yeah, it does. We have to clear both. So we can check this. Clear 2 tags. I guess if that's the case, we can always moshing, right? Because ideally we're looking for steel skins here really bad. Yeah, I think I'm just going to clear. I'm not sure. We'd have to die to Audacity. That's really good to have. Now we don't necessarily die to Audacity SEF. Spin Doctor. Huh. Okay. So we don't get a Maw. So Paladin's going to trash something. It's a problem. But here we just clear 2 tags. And I think we're okay. Do we have enough money to turbine run 10, remove tag 2 times? A 10 is very likely to be border control, so we'd have to run this twice, and then they can pop the border control to get a Reaper, so like it's not good. It's not a line we want to do. So I think we just clear 2 tags. Trash twinning or something? Yeah, I think we honestly trash the twinning, unfortunately. All right, so if they have Audacity, firstly, the urban renewal 20% of the time misses the steel skin. And if it misses the steel skin and they have Audacity AZF, we lose. Otherwise, we're okay. Okay, we're fine. Oof. I think we're fine. We also didn't trash anything, so they can't oppo. But now they're going to get a 3-coster. If it's a Reaper function, it can't fire. Holy shit. No. Oh Oh, we didn't see that coming. We should have ran HQ. That's how we lose. I was so sure I was safe. Did you have anything in HQ? Yeah, that's also why we don't run, because then they have a forecaster res. They need the bass. Don't blame Kev. One floss lead. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's sick. We should remember we had the Mad there. So yeah, Mad with the forecaster, bass. So like we said this, the most important card on the table is Sphegor. It might have been more correct to like threaten the Sphegor, because if they don't have the Sphegor, they don't have that line. So I think the right version of that is run this, run server 1, clear 2 tags. Because there's a big chance they actually don't have double end of line in hand. Actually drew SM off R&D this turn. Ooh. That was never the run for me. Did you have 2 E2 end of line? I think you're right though that they don't have a Azef. Yeah, we should remember we saw Mad, right? Like clearly they don't play Mad for fun. They play Mad for like reason. Just one. Got it. Cool. Yeah. So I think the line was definitely like run, trash that, run server 1, deal with the Sphe, because Sphe's the only thing that turns on Mad, and then just clear 2 tags. Yeah, Excavator's messed up. This card deserves as much respect as you can give it. It is the most important trash in the whole matchup. Oh, that was a really cool game though. That was sick. Hey, cheers. Yeah, we had small margins there to get out. If we played it perfectly and we saw that line coming, we could have dealt with it. And I think like it would have been expensive, but we might have been okay. Excavator or Extract? Excavator is much more important. Extract is good. It's just like you can't interact with it. It just does its thing. Speaking of that, let's talk about some news. So firstly, as we all said at the beginning of the stream, Age of Apocalypse is among us. But more seriously, firstly, in Montreal, there's a GNK this Saturday that's just coming up. It's at l'Abyss. It's like, I don't know if it has an official NSG GNK kit. I don't know if it does. I think it would say here. But more importantly, there's a whole bunch of stuff from like Worlds and some alt arts that are just gonna be raffled. It's not even like you have to win games. So yeah, just go play games. I'll be there on this Saturday. Looks fun. This is the other thing that came up. Oh, actually, sorry, UK Nationals. That's coming up in a weekend and a bit. This is on the 11th, mostly. On Friday is the team tournament as well. If you're in the UK, you're probably not watching this now, but you're also probably aware about this. If you're in the UK, go out. UK Nationals is always killer. And then, of course, the most important one, considering, is it should be here. No, it'll be a bit further. In Brooklyn, Sovereign of Subways. That is the team tournament. So this is the structure of like the classic, you know, Crown of Servers type tournament where there's 3 players on a team, each have to play a different faction within standard. So you're going to see a very diverse by necessity tournament. And this is something being run by a bunch of the folks in New York, including Kat, who apparently we did not play Kat right there. Sure. And again, a lot of people going. I think there's like, I forget the number of teams already registered, but there's a lot of teams. Is Whiteblade coming out? Oh, that's sick. But that's really, really cool. We have a team from Montreal coming in as well. That will be streamed. We're currently working through it, where it's going to be streamed, how it's going to be streamed, that sort of stuff. But stay tuned. We'll let you know sooner. It's in a couple weekends. But if you want to watch that because you're not going, because you can't go, there should be a stream up. We're working on that right now. Do you guys get good turnouts for IRL events? Mason, in Montreal, yes. We haven't had any events in a while because Worlds came and there was like, you know, a lot of people preparing for Worlds, and then after Worlds, a lot of people be like, I have to not do Netrunner for a bit because we spent a lot of time doing Netrunner. So like this event, we'll see what the turnup is. It might not be the biggest event. I'm really excited to go for it. It's Nick's first event he's running, and hardcore. That's awesome. But throughout the summer, we had like, well, we had Canadian Nationals, which we had 40 players, which was sick. It was the biggest in-person event in Canada this year. And then earlier in the year, we had like GNKs and CO kits, like about once a month. And they're usually like was 12 to 16 players, which is really good for casual events of that size. So yeah. Extract requires a click. Doesn't enable plates like that. Yes, they cannot extract that play unless they have like biotic, and that's ridiculous. UK Nats that Andre was talking about is about 50 to 60 people. SOS looking like 30 to 40. Yeah, that's sick. That's really good. Yeah, team tournaments are good. There's also a link that might be in here, but if you're worried about going to a team tournament because you don't have a team, Kat, you should add it here. But there was a page that you can register yourself. Is it here? So that you can, yeah, it's probably here. So they can, no, okay, it's not this, but you can register yourself. There was like a Google Sheets. So to be like, hey, I'm one person who I want to go, but I don't have a team. And then you'll see like XDG's team, there's looking for a 3rd player or a 2nd player or whatever it is. So get involved. On that note, let's play the deck that we haven't played in a long time. I wanted to play this one for such a long time. I thought we'd play today some like rig shooter, but we're playing wholesome all day. But this is Lady Killer, which is Odo's list that came in what is third at Worlds. And this list is so cool because it challenges like some pretty big fundamentals. I also think this is a really good, easy enough list to give to any new player, because firstly, you'll notice just about everything is a 3 of, unless it's the 1 of that you know you have to play as a 1 of, but everything is a 3 of. So there's not a lot of like, you know, reading of cards, let alone it challenges some other stuff like the agenda suite. This is a very different agenda suite than we've seen in a lot of Wayland decks for a long time now. And I really like this agenda suite. It seems really good. Thanks for playing, Mari. Really enjoyed it. Yo, Kira, congrats. Thanks for posting the list as well. I think it's a really fun list. As much as I kind of poo-pooed on reg host, it's still a lot of fun. So this list, in short, our agenda suite. The write-up Odal talks about how the agenda suite is just the best you can ask for. Above the Law is really, really good right now. So many of the top runners in, you know, Worlds we're on. Things like, well, Daily Cast is like a pretty good entry point. But on top of that, the twinning is just such an important card right now. You'll notice that like all the Anarch decks are not playing Stargate anymore. They're just playing the twinning, because twinning is just really good. You charge it in the background. It's good against those Glacier matchups. It's just a stellar card, flexible on both central servers. So this is a way to shoot it down. So we're going to play it. On 3 hostiles, mind you, we didn't mention we're playing the outfit that gains 3 credits whenever we gain a bad publicity. So we want to get as much bad publicity as we want because it gives us even more money. Bad publicity is obviously bad because the runner gets to run cheaper. But the idea with this sort of deck is if you can close out the game sooner than later, the bad publicity doesn't add up in any insurmountable way. And most importantly, we actually want to speed run bad publicity, because this is a 6-2 agenda, but it will go down to a 2-2 if we have at least 4 bad publicity. So just get a 4 bad publicity. You see the savvy runners will play against the outfit in a really interesting way, where they'll maybe be a bit aggressive for the first couple turns because they're worried about you scoring out an Atlas with a counter, which this deck doesn't do. And then from that point on, once you're on 2 to 3 bad publicity, they'll actually slow down and wait for those regulatory captures to like kind of pool up into HQ, where they're kind of useless as 3-2 agendas. You really want them to be 2-2s. For what it's worth, obviously this sort of like big deal, Santa's big deal outfit decks did well. They won Continental season, but I never liked that deck. I think that deck's made so many games where you just had bad games, because if you didn't draw really well, you ended up holding the red caps. You never built a remote server that mattered, and you kind of just like lost the game really slowly. I think that happens sometimes. You still have to push the game out as the corporation, but I think this is a really cool outfit that is more about the remote server, and we'll talk about that because we're playing CityWorks Project. On Centrals, a blank 5-3, but in the remote server, it does a bunch of damage. And damage is something we can capitalize on, because when the runner accesses this is 4 meat damage potentially, and then we can kill them with a lot of money into punitive counterstrike, which is sick. And all the other parts for the deck, nothing too surprising. We're running, you know, all the bad publicity ice you expect to. So Trebuchet for 3, Valencho for free, potentially. Magnet is a 3 of. This is like pretty good probably into a bad matchup classically, which is Arasana, but like nobody else is really playing anything that hosts on stuff anymore. Like Criminals never did. Anarchs are not playing Botchless anymore. Hush doesn't really show up again outside of Shaper, and Shaper is probably the reason you want to play Magnet, as much as the 3 strength and the run code gate is fine. Board control, of course you are. It's great. And then Data Loop is really interesting. I think this seems pretty expensive. I never saw this at Worlds on the top tables do anything, but obviously it works with our damage cards and with our punitive counterstrike, so it's totally fine. Other fun stuff, we have 3 Mavirus. It's a lot of Mavirus. Mavirus is good. Surprised to see 3 of in this list. 3 of Angelique. While she is unique, once you rush that threat, she does more damage from hand to like ping down the runner so you can hit them with the punitive, let alone in the remote server. She makes that CityWorks Project do a lot of damage. Data Loop made me extremely sad. It is really hard to cheat through this. Like, it is just a really bad tempo run. As much as you break this for like maybe 3 credits, yeah, losing 2 cards is 3 credits and potentially 2 clicks. Yeah, it feels good. 3 Magnets seems a little extraneous. I think 3 Mavirus and 3 Magnets does seem a little extraneous to me. The 3x Mavirus is okay if people are like depending on Amakua, but like no one can depend on Amakua when you have so much 6 strength ice. So it's interesting. The damage on the text actually could be relevant, the net damage for sure. And then my favorite is 3 Under the Bus. This made no sense to me when I first read the what's it called, the write-up, and then realizing 2 things. Firstly, you can play this to gain 2 credits and just get bad publicity, which is something you actually want to speed run. And that's a problem with some of the decks when they're trying to get to 4, but the runner stops running. So that's really cool. But more importantly, the meta is kind of defined by some very powerful connections, as much as it wasn't that obvious to me. So like all this really beefy ice just gets eaten apart by Banhar. Trash Banhar. You have also, what's her name? Dr. Nuka, which like, that's okay, I guess. It's better than nothing, but as much as they'll only usually have one power counter on it. What other big connections are you trashing? Like, you don't care about wheels that much. You don't really care about class act. Like, you care about class act from hand, not class act on table. But this is just like really cute that it works. 3 mag, 3 mab is a lot of mulch hate for a deck wasn't quantity going into worlds. Yeah, this is like, it's interesting because a lot of this ice is like pretty weak to botulus, but yeah, for that reason, 3 Mavirus, 3 Magnet, I would say that, and right now people are pretty mulch hungry. This is probably a relatively good matchup into mulch, especially the under the bus. I actually wanted to play, and I don't think we'll have time now, but just like, yeah, play Public Trail into end of the line. Because a lot of the mulch decks don't have amazing money up front, and they don't have a lot of cards in hand between turns a lot of the time, because they're mulching so hard. And as much as you have to play around Audrey into like Steel Skin at instant speed, I feel like just playing, you know, super modernism type lists are going to get a lot of runners out of in a problem. On the bus hits Lago in mulch too. Oh yeah, it's a connection and a location, isn't it? Yeah, you could. As much as like, would I? Yeah, I guess so. Like you just play this, but yeah, I guess so. The very popular resource Steve Cambridge, also hi. Renata, how's it going? You can't actually trash Steve Cambridge though, because he's not installed, right? Oh, but you can trash the, yeah, right, Fenris. Fenris is a connection. Yeah, that's cool. That works. That totally works. Let's give this a shot. I was really excited to play this. I'm surprised it took us so long after Worlds to play this. If we have time after this, we'll play a super modernism list that will brew up really quickly because I think it's probably in an okay spot. Again, I think Public Trail to end of line is like totally playable if you go fast enough. Lady Killer. Why is it called that? Why is it called that? Mental image of a bus plying through a homeless shelter. Is Lagu a homeless shelter? I thought it was like an animal shelter because everyone has an animal in that picture. Obviously they're people, but like I thought it was maybe an animal shelter. In Attorney, do you play both sides or just one is the corp and one is the runner? Mason, great question. You definitely bring 2 decks. So you bring a runner deck and a corp deck. And then it depends on whether the tournament is in single-sided Swiss or double-sided Swiss. Double-sided Swiss is the classic and most popular Netrunner format. I think single-sided Swiss is a much better format and it's gaining a lot more popularity. But in double-sided Swiss, you sit against an opponent and you have about an hour and 10 minutes to play both sides. So you play a corp game, then you flip and you play your runner game. On single-sided Swiss, you end up playing twice as many rounds in double-sided, so you play the same amount of games. But when you're matched up against an opponent, it tells you which side you're going to play for that round. And then it pairs you against, it always at every tournament pairs you against a player with the same score as you. So if you're not doing well, you pair against someone who's not doing well. And in single-sided Swiss, they'll pair you against somebody who has to play more corp, that's played more runner. So it pairs it out. So in both. I think it's a clone shelter. Extern, that's actually probably reasonable. That actually probably makes a lot of sense. Lady Killers for the sniper? So you're saying that Lady Killer is a killer who is a lady as opposed to someone who kills ladies? I guess that makes sense. Is Lady Killer the other gendered, another gendered version of Hitman? Because you don't often, no, you do hear hit woman. You do. Hit non-binary. Odo thought Banhar was a woman. So he thought UTB killed all the important ladies. That's very funny. That makes more sense to me. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Yeah, Under the Bus is a wild card. When I read this, I originally did not realize, I assumed like many other cards that it said, excuse me, trash in 1 installed connection, resource, and take 1 bad publicity. Most cards are formatted and it would say, as an additional cost to play this, take 1 bad publicity. And then it would say trash 1 installed connection resource. So if there was no resource to trash, you weren't allowed to play the card. But because the fact that the bad publicity is part of the effect of the card and not the cost of the card, it's a legitimate play. It's the real reason? Oh, no, I believe you, Kira. It's just very funny. Agent 47 would be pushing number a bus. Accident kill. Silent assassin. Oops. Oh, it's Mari again. Howdy, hey. How's it going? I refuse to believe Boomer Zoomer 69 is not a smurf. Unspecified. I didn't see how many games he played. Okay, let's go. Human animals too? Hey, Deja Vu. Well, thanks. Humans are animals, right? Like that is actually the taxonomy there. This hand is like, okay. We definitely want to ice up both central servers. Magnet for the remote server is like, okay, into Hosh. I'm not expecting Botulus if we're expecting this to be Mari. So at least we could under the bus something early. We could probably mulligan into a better hand than this. Yeah, that's much better. That has to be Aksu, right? Lady Killer and Man-Eater's the gendered pairs I usually see with those terms. What were they called in Fallout? Because I think Fallout had gendered terms like those to be used pretty quickly. I think we're gonna do Magnet Remote with Rashida in it. We don't really have an incentive to play Too Big to Fail on turn 1. And then we'll put Valentau on HQ. We can't res it. I've made a huge mistake. They'll never know. That's a really good HQ run. Lamau true. Thanks, you too. Everyone loves Rashid in the remote. Arguably, maybe not the line here. I don't think you're scared about much again. It's you need to know what outfit deck you're playing against. Generally, the remote server early, you're worried about an install advance on a card. Because that looks like it's an Atlas with a counter. And Atlas with a counter is super important for a deck that, mind you, we're not on Audacity. Like, we actually have to score on a remote server or kill. And that's kind of wild. Like, it's been such a long time. When's the last time you saw a Wayland deck without Audacity in it, right? I think the gendered Fallout 3 term was Black Widow. Those were the Fallout terms? Now I'm going to have to check. Yeah, right? Because one gave you more damage. They trashed Angelique. They're going back on 2 credits. Yeah. Hostile off the top is really good. We would have scored that out. Paladin down. Order. Unfortunate, but you don't know what you're going to run into. And Hosh is going to flip. Mandatory. Okay, cool. At least we have Valentau there on R&D. Do you think that Hosh is going to have from hand? No, I'm going to risk it. There's no way that Hosh has from hand a buzzsaw. Black Widow is correct. Nice. I think the speedrunners all use Black Widow because there's just more male NPCs because all the relationships in the game are, you know, heteronormative. Value Punitive for 1. Trash is a strike fund. Res Magnet. They could still get in here. Paladin's not a connection. Has no connections whatsoever. Just a little otter and her hammer. Hard to tell the scale on the companions. I'm assuming they're not very big. No, don't play a buzzsaw. Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable. The question is, do we trash a daily cast or do you trash a paladin? I'm leaning towards daily cast. With chat delay, we have only a couple seconds to... Oh, that's sick. That's really nice that we eat a pinhole as well. Not that we have good pinhole targets. Being bi is exceptionally powerful. Ditaki, they did not even allow that to be an option because they realized how powerful it would be. But they don't restrict you. You can have relationships with whoever you want in that game, I'm pretty sure. Good game so far. Yeah. I'm taking down daily cast. That's 6 credits. It's going to be a while before Paladin 6 credits, let alone good credits. All right, Hosh is on 4 credits. The face check into Valentau is painful. We obviously have to remember the way that the runner plays is different. Because they have to respect Trebuchet. So like there might not be so aggressive face checks in ways that they can't. The Valentau face check would be so disgusting. And this is where like if we top deck, what's it called? Especially with 1 steel skin out, Cityworks, we just smash it. Playing down Taka, like without breakers down, can be a bit risky. I think we're going to do Spin Doctor. Then we're going to do Trebuchet and we're going to put the Angelique behind it and see if we can bait some sort of aggression. Okay, this is not good enough yet. If we can res the Valentau for free, we're like laughing. But like punitive off of Angelique with regulatory capture is kind of reasonable. It gets there. I always pictured they were sit comfortably on your shoulder size. Yeah. I like that. What's the art of Keiko? Like, are they on the shelf? Like, I think they are like stuffies. Puemo is my shoulder deep. Scale's arbitrary net space, but I've always imagined companions as little. Imagine Paladin Puemo is like Leviathan. Or actually, no. Okay. What's... Pueno is probably the size of an aircraft carrier. And then everybody else is just, you know, riding. Yeah, a plushie. I think there are plushies on the shelf in the background of Keiko, if I'm not mistaken. So here, never advance. I don't know if there's a big threat. Cleaver's down. Okay, that's totally fine. Because now the Trebuchet really has some sort of teeth. Oh, do we, heaven forbid, score this out? No, we don't. What server are we worried about? The problem that we're worried about here is we don't have forward momentum. We could, this is 10 or less. No, it's less than 10. So we could install then too big to fail. That actually might be okay. I think that might be reasonable. Like, it's not a good tempo play, but like we don't really have good tempo plays. Getting this to a 4-2 is like kind of okay. Board control and HQ is like really cursed. We shouldn't do that. If anything, it'll be on the remote server. Yeah, let's go. It's very hard to bonk all your programs into place. The companions are virtual. What would the plushies be? Plushies or like some sort of dinosaurs vibe? I think they are either dinosaurs vibe or they were like the inspiration that Hosh made, or the idea is that like it's merch attached to some sort of like your favorite World of Warcraft character. But I'm pretty sure that there's plushies in the background because like Keiko is physical. Keiko is kind of plushie-esque, right? Isn't data loop for remote server? Yeah, potentially. But also this on R&D is kind of reasonable. We have 3 of them, so I'm not going to be too precious about it. Okay, if we didn't draw Rashida, let's draw once to get a 5-3. We didn't get it. So we'll put that into server 1. Having more money is actually kind of reasonable because Valenchow is like really out of their reach right now. But here we just want to get a CityWorks, install Advance because it's a 6 damage steal and we have a punitive in hand. So then at that point we'll be on game point. As much as game point is not Audacity game point. Like this is still good on R&D because if they went off of R&D, right, with the data loop, CityWorks doesn't have text. So generally that's the 2 servers that I'm worried about. Point for getting Gacha and 0? Yeah, maybe. We've never done that. Okay, Valenchow is a good enough res here. We're on 3 bad publicity. There's a 1 snipe here. But if they want to boost here, it's 3, 6, 9. It's 10 credits to break this. So they could, but it's all their money. Otherwise, they let it fire. Yes. Okay, cool. That's really important that we're on 3 here. We actually could consider jamming this next turn. Closing archives off of easy runs might be good too. Yeah, I think we'll get a Trebuchet there if we have a spare click. Like we might do install regulatory advance, ice up that. Oh, they didn't boost Taka, yeah. There's a couple like, you know, little things you could do. You can definitely boost Taka there on the Valenchow so you don't lose it because that's a lot of money gone. Ah, hostile. Scoring out's kind of hard here. With the hostile, we're going to put in the remote server. We're going to score a next turn and we're going to jam the 2-2 into that server because that server seems really strong. So put this on archives. We're worried about them getting their gachaponing into their actual breaker. And then we'll get this on HQ, I guess. We just need to get stuff out there. Next turn, we advance, score this, and then we can jam the regulatory from hand or put them a virus in there. Like we just need control. They probably want to spend a talk a bit. Yeah, they just want to boost 1. You can boost with like Cleaver. Technically, you can boost. It doesn't matter which one you boost with. Like it eats the bad publicity. You just need to take 1 off Taka. So that Gachapon hit Bayaban's Cleaver Gachapon 0. So they installed nothing with it. They could have installed the Cleaver just to have another Cleaver. They installed nothing with it. That's technically fine. There's a turbine. Okay. Still, this is a bit expensive. Rather Wave Runners, Iron Runners? Super Nut, what do you mean? Yeah, so they have to really be worried about Trebuchet, because if Trebuchet takes on a Turbine and a Buzzsaw, like they need a money up to beat Valenchow. Well, hey, we found all the viruses. We will purge, I think. So we could just put this in the remote server. It's pretty safe in HQ, I think. It's probably safe in the remote server, though. It is, let's be honest. Purging this out for 6 is like only so relevant. Mind you, with 4 bad publicity, like they can buzzsaw through the Valenchow. It's actually not that expensive. There's the Benhar. We'd love to draw it under the bus here, but we're going to be on game point, which you do advance here, and then they have to lock the top of R&D. And they also have to deal with Spin Doctor, because Spin Doctor lets us shuffle before we access. They're just not able to run more. I love this so much better than the sort of like too big to fail, or sorry, the big deal outfits, because we actually play the table. We don't just like hold and like quad ice everything. Fenris last click. You generally want to not do that because it gives us the ability to like react to it. Banner, it does work like that. There's no way around it. So we'll see what they pick Steve here. Lots of bus targets. Yeah, I know. I'd actually rather do with Banhar. Advance, score. So we could put them a virus on the remote server just to like force the issue. They're going to go through data loop into Valençao. That's pretty fine. We have to watch about R&D, which is data loop into Valençao. It's literally the same server twice. That's pretty funny. I think we probably put them a virus on R&D and then actually hit them for a damage. Because if they manage to steal 5-3, this extra damage and the data loop might actually matter for the punitive. But this play makes it look like we don't have anything. Maybe we should push for the remote server because they have to run the remote server this turn or they think they lose. I kind of like that better because if we put the what's it called in there, they have to run this and it's 3 damage, let alone the trebuchet could fire. But there's a chance that they will respect the trebuchet. We res the data loop. It's really cool that this works on Banhar. So this is now 4 cards out of hand. Wait, this is sick. This is 4 cards. Well, they can break it. But if they don't break it, Banhar into data loop is 4 cards worth of damage. That's so wild. They break this for 1 credit though, so yeah, at least that's like a really cool relevant tax that like persists beyond the absolute collapse of economy when you give the runner 4 bad publicity. Remember Resma Virus can do 1 damage? Yeah, totally. That's where we're gonna res it if they run R&D here. They're gonna get Steve value. The thing is like we have a couple top decks that are really good for us. I guess it's only regulatory capture that's really good for us, but a city works in the remote server is actually super relevant as well. Yeah, Steve gets 1 back now for sure. Like, this is still okay for them, but it's not amazing. Like, it's hard to think of 2 ISOB taxing here. They did risk though, like that innermost, if it was a trebuchet, that's such a big problem for them, and they did take a risk there. So now they're gonna do Steve, so they pick 2 cards, and we gotta pick which one they keep and which one's removed from the game. They're very likely to hit Hero Virus. I ran the numbers. Taka or Fermenter? You can definitely have the Fermenter. So hit the magnet. Yeah, with 3 virus, you can have all the fermenters you want. Eventually, they have enough money, and bad publicity does count. They can just like not break Valençao. But I think they're in a pretty good spot. Takobi would be kind of a nightmare. All right, they drew the known card. Start turn. There's 2 and 24 that we win. Like that one. Wow. How do we do that? Good game. That felt way cool. Thanks for the game. There was a lot of issues you presented, and like we always have to put ourselves in the runner's shoes. It's hard to face check, right? Like trebuchet is just a problem, and while this deck only has 1 Noom, and early echelon doesn't deal with it, so it's all about Banhar. And eventually we would put Banhar underneath the bus, regardless what gender we think. Hey, cheers, you too. Thanks again. All right, let's do it again. Yeah, we can do a couple of these. Wayland games are generally pretty fun, fast. We have only a couple videos left in the CanNat series. We put up the lower finals on Wednesday. It's not very well viewed. I wonder if people are tired of seeing Hoshiko and Ismari. I don't know. Maybe. I could hear it. The finals are really good. And once that is wrapped up, we can get back to doing our regularly scheduled Netrunner content, which is great. Steve should have gotten back Price or Gacha probably. Well played, thank you. Yeah, I reckon they didn't need money there. They needed like an echelon. They needed a way to like control the game, or to get in their remote server. Winning stream today. When does that happen? We lost a game. I forget how bad Tuesday went. I think it went okay. I know not that like, I don't think winning is the most important. I think what's the most important is we learn something, let alone have fun. I know when we did the Worlds Tour, like we won every single game we played, but like we were playing Worlds caliber decks against mostly Worlds caliber decks too, though. But our win rate's like pretty reasonable. That was some good Netrunner. Hey, Eric, thank you. It's like, I don't know, I don't want to spoil the outcome of it, but like you can tell how long the video is, whether time comes into effect or not. And like for what it's worth, I think the politics around time coming up, and not the politics, but the landscape about time coming up when it comes to like a top cut where like you know who the winning seed is and the deck is only 3-pointers. It's like, okay, I need to steal 6 points or I lose the game if the corp can score 3 points. It's like a really weird game. Very interesting. But I don't think people love Glacier Ismari. Do you think Glacier Ismari is better with border control? Or do you think it's better with BioVault? I'm not sure. Hard to say. Weaker to Pinhole, that's for sure. Ooh, Sable. This is like the lower semifinals. So Sable, we're gonna get some HQ pressure. A lot of names I don't recognize. We definitely want ice for HQ. Ideally, we ice up both centrals. This hand, like if we just hostile out, we can get diversioned on an HQ mark. That's not good. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. The deck has a fair bit of ice, right? Right? 50 ice. That's actually not that much. So the chance of getting an ice off the top deck is 1 in 3. I'm gonna mulligan. It's not better. I don't think Kyle was sandbagging or anything, just how the game goes. No, Kyle wasn't sandbagging at all. I've been like very impressed. Like specifically Worlds. The Worlds final was basically decided by the runner player playing fast into time, where they like, you know, abstractly probably shouldn't have. Like that's such a cool thing about Netrunner. Like if Cable played slower, he wins Worlds, and he didn't do that. Like that's sick. And like, no, I don't think Kyle was sandbagging at all. I'm not even, I don't think that's at all the point. I think it's just like, it's weird when it's like that. All right. Do we put down 3 assets and say go? No, I think we spin Doctor for an ice. Shit. All right. This is going to be a weird one. HQ Mark 2. Okay. Send it. At least we're not that work to diversion. Cable 2 honorable? Yeah, right? But like, who wants to win Worlds by like waiting there while the timer goes down? Rashida? Use your bad publicity. You're powerful. This looks like snares. We got away with Rashida on the table. Like this play, the opening looks so awkward when they mulligan and open with Spin Doctor. Like I think you expect what's on the table to be weird. Ah, help. This is not a connection. This is a location. How do we possibly play this hand? I guess we just hostile, right? And then use the advanced technology of the Doctor to like fix ourselves. Okay, nice. It's painful watching my slow turns. I was hustled by the game. Kyle, firstly, yo, what up? Why did you deal with the magnet? I think in the commentary, we gave you the benefit of the doubt to like, why you hippoed the magnet. I thought it was fascinating. I don't think it really made sense to me. I want to hear what you think. I also thought there was a window where you could have hippoed the toll booth on R&D. But like with time coming up, it probably wasn't the right play. R&D is the mark, clickless. I think you want to run Archives or Spin Doctor first because there's clearly like 4 to 6 points out of the game. And another Spin Doctor now. Hey, that's a connection. Do you think we can just win by not icing up? No, we have to. We have agendas. I think an infinite time game hippo magnet is correct. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because like there was nothing that good behind the magnet. It was like 2 magnets, wasn't it? And it was the second of 3 hippos. So I'm not sure. I think opening R&D is like the way that you win, and you just lock the top of R&D. Because if you hippo the toll booth on R&D, it's just a tithe, right? All right, this is absolutely cursed. We can go to 3 bad publicity. Let's draw once for ice. Okay, well, our play next turn. So we'll put this in our remote server. And like when in Rome, I guess. Magnet Hydra Magnet was the remote server? Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's a better play when time is coming up. That's true, though. You're right. Banhar Hydra keeps the remote paper thin. Corpus broke, even icing. They couldn't push an agenda. You're right. It was Magnet Hydra Magnet. Yeah, it was later in the game. No, that is true. Yeah, you definitely want to Banhar through the Hydra. I don't think there's another way for it. Yeah, that's good. Serious go for the funny feed 6 and kill for single punitive? If they run R&D, we can give them 4, but we need 2 punitives for that. It's very hard for us to give them 6. R&D is the mark. This looks like Cable's list. Cable, mind you. Oh, that's Bishop. Sorry. We'll get the joke next time. Oh. Could be any list. Could be Kuitas, Amakua, Tunnel Vision, Biobands. We don't have ice. You don't need the dogs. We've literally not drawn an ice. We've gone through 20 cards, 25 cards. Dropping CW feet to 6 points in archives. Let's go. I think we're going to put the CWP on top of Angelique and say, let's go. If we top deck another punitive here, we're in a good spot. Otherwise, we're not. The thing is, like, they're not running archives, but you're right. We could feed them enough points on archives. Inside job, jailbreak bravado. Let's go. What a game. Strategically speaking, when you're 6-3 up, all the 5 minutes, you can just camp the remote and win from there. Arguably scummy. I don't think it's scummy. I think you're right. When time is coming up and you're up 6-3, you can just camp the remote server. Like, that is the game. I don't think it's scummy at all. I don't think you have to win. At that point, the corp has to win. And that's totally fine understanding it. Like I don't have to win anymore. They have to win. I don't think we have to score this out. The game's clearly in R&D. So we could have considered playing the, what's it called, under the bus there, because if we want to top deck, we're not going to top deck a red cap. There's 132. Do we want to give them 4 points? No, then they run this and win. Okay, you win this one. Giving them 2 points doesn't really help. How's it different when time is not coming up? Because if the game goes on forever, you know you can't win the game on 6 points, right? Like if it's the finals and it's not time, then you actually have to get to 7. Oh, there's a boomerang on this. So we can pop the border control now, and then they don't pass it. But I think it's more important that we keep this here because then they need an Amakua or they need to roll R&D as a mark. Amakua is going to be a problem, but we have 3 Mavirus. We really need that punitive. They have surprisingly a lot more money than we thought they would. Don't hit the above the law hedge fund. Nice. Oh, deep dive. Let's go. Wait a second. Top deck punitive. It's a shuffle. Angelique doesn't do it either. All right. Don't know how many deep dive the deck is on. So we'll score this out. We'll ace HQ, and we'll do this so we can top deck the win. Choose a Reese connection to trash. Now we good. Camping the remote for your last point seems like Banner through Hydra helps. Yeah, eventually you'll lose though, because like you'll get a border control on there and you'll go for there. Draw for the second one, it's so unlikely. It's 2 and 32. Like we'd rather have a play that sets up and a win. I think it's good TV, but it's not going to win the game. R&D is the mark. Okay, unfortunately here they're locking the deck. You didn't have the money anyhow? It's probably true as well. There's 2 red caps in 32. Bad publicity with buy bans is like so good. They need the Amakua. If that's the case, like that's the problem is like we've drawn are the cards that they can actually face check into. Because what's the numbers that they have to get through Trebuchet? No. No, that's fine. I wonder what they messed up. They saw the card on top of R&D, so like this technically you shouldn't be able to repair. That's fine though. But I think they installed nothing. So yeah, okay. To race to hostile and red cap, yeah, ideally we do it in a red. Oh my god, we're on 4. I thought we were on 5. We're way worse than I thought we were. Apparently I can't count to 7. In an untimed game, the corp has all the space to recreate an impregnable row. You can't really afford to ignore centrals in the start. Yeah, exactly. They had 3 boarding controls in the game. Hydra, liberated counts, maybe you can scale there, but like I do think you just want to lock R&D. Turtle. Cool. So getting him a virus in there, purging does something. That's actually really important. You think what I'm thinking? Do we think we just put Angelique on here? I'm actually better here. Go. 5 minutes left, you don't need to do anything except stop them scoring. Yeah. Which, like, again, you could R&D lock, but I don't think you need to. It's a diversion. We will trade a border control for a diversion. More so because this border control doesn't do anything. Because they have 4 bad publicity. But money does matter in the matchup. This deck makes me want to make a Sable deck. This is, I think, Koida's deck. It looks like Koida's deck. Which it was on like 2 Amakua, 2 Tunnel Vision, and a bunch of leeches. Like this is the highest AI deck in the entire dang format. So our money is messed up. But admittedly, if they go through this and they access, they die. Isn't that fun? If they access, they die. Are they going to respect it? I doubted the data loop. This is like so unbelievably cool. It looks like they're going through it. And the run of the runners tagged is such weird text on this card. It's so strange. Yeah, okay. Okay. GG. I'm taking that. Yeah. Gotta add the NVM flavors, but so bizarre. It's a game. That was a really weird matchup. We got like 3 pieces of ice on turn. What's it called? Whatever when this is on turn 7, and still, yeah, we got the lethal there. Even if we didn't have Angelique there, they could have done, like if they had one more card in hand, I think we probably don't double punitive there. But if that's the case, I don't know if we res the data loop. It's hard. Headshot, yeah. This deck is really neat. Court. That button did the lights. That's not the button I'm meant to hit. It's not good that I'm hitting random buttons. I actually could have a disastrous effect on the stream. Data loop always saves you entire punitive. It can. There are some cases where it makes it worse because the runner can actually carve cards at their hand, so they're only holding steel skins. But yeah, it's basically that. For that same cost though, like it's basically Angelique, and Angelique is a bit cheaper. But the thing is, like at the end of the day, having ice that's relevant when they have 4 bad publicity is kind of wild. Bahaying a data loop is funny. It's absolute time rewind. And then you have class act, so you actually see 1 card deeper. You build your own Mr. Lee or whatever. Or what's it called? There's like a really bad criminal card that's like 2 clicks to draw 3, shuffle back 1 or something. I really hope it's not shuffle back because that's so tedious. It has like a bunch of people in an alleyway, like holding each other up, I think. Blockade runner. Yeah, draw 3 cards, shuffle 1 from your grip. Okay, I don't know. I feel like this is a design problem that you probably shouldn't have a card that you want to fire. Okay, admittedly, if you're firing this twice a turn, things are cursed. But like, I don't think there should be a card that you have on the table that's like click shuffle your deck, because that is tedious. Maybe that's a big reason why this take 2 clicks. So you only have to shuffle your deck twice a turn. It does shuffle. That's so bad. Does a deck that you're playing run 3 Steel Skin? No, almost no deck runs Steel Skin out of faction. There's not a big reason to, right? So like generally you'll see more, sometimes you see Steel Skin in Criminal, but more often people save their credit and play Diesel. But like if you're worried about damage and Shaper, you can play Anakam, or you can play Telework. What's it called? Sorry, Stone Chip Chart Room. And then Criminal generally tries to hold, what's it called? A class act and plays it. From the makers of Keyhole, by the way. Yeah, Keyhole's fun. Keyhole's fun for everyone. It's a slot machine. Blockade runner's boring. No, but you're right. Yeah, that is true. I should dunk on Keyhole at least. Essa, that's an interesting matchup because punitive can be either very relevant or very unrelevant. This is our second game against Dan today. Hey, thanks. You too, eh? All right, opening hand. Under the bus will hit Banhara. It's pretty good. We definitely need ice so we don't get just Chastushka'd. Finality is a bit of a liability in punitive. If we draw an ice with this hand, it's great. If we don't draw an ice with this hand, it's really bad. Chat, what are you thinking? I'm going to mulligan because we had really bad luck before, but we could like keep this in hope. The problem is that like if they just Chastushka turn 1, like, oh, disaster. I'm going to mulligan for ice. Good enough. Hard mull. All right, we're gonna ice up HQ. We're going to, I think, draw once, just have cards in hand. It's really nice against Essa, and then last click, too big to fail. Draw. All right, we don't have that play. We're gonna just do this because we want to thread and be able to res something. You can poke early, mind you. Valenchao is actually really interesting because back in the day before rotation with like, that's not a connection. I don't see us getting a Rashida off anytime soon, but card draw is pretty good. Our next turn is kind of spoken for with Hostile. Ah, they hit a Steel Skin too, pretty good. We don't have any punitives. I'll get rid of the Rashida. Ah! Fires for ice turn 1. How many ice in the deck? I think it's 13. No, 6, 6. It's 14 maybe? It's 6, 6, 4? 6, 6, 3. 15. Let's go. Yeah, we've been drawing really weird last couple turns. 13 is like lower than what you'd expect for a 49 card. Like that's not dissimilar to some acid decks, like a mid acid deck. So like it's kind of low. Maybe I would like drop one of the Maviruses, and go from there. Early Hostile is good. They didn't just send Finality. What bus is this guy going to end under, huh? They threw out a Marrow. That means they probably have another one. Oh, crap. Okay, we really need to deal with Benhar here. Draw. All right, well, this is hard to sabotage this hand. We're going to be like the sabotage off the top of the deck. I don't care. But here they could Benhar the heck out of HQ and Chestushka. So like a bus is going to be introduced to our friend. Credit. Go. They don't play Marrow too. Like City Works gets a lot harder. We can do install advance events. This is not a good hand. The cool thing is like with the threat of punitive, you can play this hand a bit more like fast and loose. Like they need to get a Marrow down here. They probably have one if they discarded one. Legwork just owns us. Yeah, Legwork we lose. But like here they play a Marrow. We sabotage 2 from the top of the deck. We could consider sabotaging a 3-pointer to Archives. Like, I don't know if I'm that brave. Would you like scoring agendas? This doesn't matter. Oh, it does. This actually turns off Data Loop. Rip. Spin Doctor, double Spin Doctor. Some games aren't your game, huh? Some of them just aren't yours. All right. So this turns off Data Loop. Doesn't turn on double Spin Doctor off a sabotage too. I've never seen that before. They play 1 Steel Skin. They have 4 hand size. They have 6 max hand size. I'm just going to do this. I don't care. Ice, fine. Rashido's probably worse, but I like keeping cards in hand when we're holding, 60% agendas. Fine. Just some Spin Doctors. I don't think Jaina shuffles. I wish Jaina shuffled. They know that these 2 came from the top of the deck if they're paying attention. Not that you see 2 Spin Doctors in the bin and think anything else. It's just like, remember that you can shuffle your heap before your opponent sees it in play. Airplanes turn up Data Loop? Yeah, it does. It does. I swear. No, we just put another ice in front of this. Okay, so our turn is draw. Angelique is neat. HQ. Ideally, we would put these 2 together. I'm just going to put Angelique out there. I don't think we're hard punished from it. We could also put Angelique on R&D. I think if they run into Angelique, that's like kind of okay for us. But we're more worried about losing off of R&D. If they do a Finality, I think Angelique on R&D is a bit better for us. We will do Angelique on R&D. Looks like the buses. Tires weren't thick enough. We're going to 3 times play every under the bus and this guy. Like, I wonder if this deck could play a copy of Pivot. Right? Like just cut down one of the 3 ofs and play Pivot. It's pretty bad to pivot for an under the bus, but like against Benhar, you consider it. Obviously when you're on, what's it called? Like Pivot's just good. Like Pivot for City Works is good once you're on, threat. Could we consider keeping Sniper in hand for kill? It's going to be a while though, because it's threat 3, right? This is what we want. Like Finality. They can steal like points. They hit Angelique. Like this seems good for us. Right? Like this can be potentially super lethal. If they steal like 4 points and hit Angelique. They lost the Botulus, mind you. We have Magnet Tech for that. I like they did the pre-res here. Rashida's gone. We lost the Hostile off the top too. There you go. Probably game. Oh, we have 1 punitive. It's unlikely to be game. Run Archives. Pivot's an interesting card. It feels like its power is just outside my level. It's really good. We're literally not going to be able to kill them. They know what we're drawing into too. Damn. We've probably lost the game here because we no longer have threat on the table. Yeah, we no longer have threat on the table. So here we could do Temple Punitive. I think it's probably correct. Yeah. Draw to take a shot at winning. It's like a 1 in 28. You're right. I think we do draw. If we don't win, we do value punitive. Yeah, okay. We'll do value punitive. We don't have to spend anything. They've played 1 strike fund, 1 steel skin, so this is probably okay. And we need to hit the Chistushkas and everything else. We hit raindrops, Baya bands, whatever. Okay, cool. This is not as good as this is on R&D. But yeah, here is a really hard spot. Yeah. Yeah, Wayland's like a really rough matchup into Essa. If we can't set it up where like Archives Run steals a lot of points, so they're gonna be on game point with this hostile. But yeah, we can no longer have punitive threat at all. Well, technically we do if they steal like a 2-pointer on top of like an Angelique and they really like goof up the hand size. But they might slow down here a minute. We just need to get that 4th bad publicity because in theory we can red cap our way out. You seen this guy? This guy's been pretty elusive. I feel like we just use him. We don't have to ice it up that bad. Oh, no. Stop it. Okay. I think we just click for credit here. Seems kind of bizarre. We could double ice this. The innermost is a trebuchet though. Like that technically sort of matters. Our money's going to go kind of quick here. Oh, this sucks though, because we built our server on top of the Spin Doctor. Yeah, that can't be right, because we're going to have to pop the Spin Doctor on our own terms. Not sure I love what we did there. Obviously, this on the outermost, like, it's fine. Whatever, it does 2 damage instead of doing 4 damage. Banhar's on HQ, though. That's good. It's Magnet to Valenchow. Free Valenchow would be sick. That's a 2nd steel skin. That's another... So there are 2 steel skins out. I wish if you clicked on this, it highlighted all the copies of it. That'd be so good. Pinhole? You got it. So I think we're going to leave the hostile in there. We'll just use 2 Spin Doctors. We would love to top deck it on the bus. Now this doesn't, like, they can't even access archives. Thought we were effing out. Yeah, we're going to build a remote server. We still have a bunch of stuff to push in it. And, like, they still don't have any breakers. Right? Like, we have to probably do something. Like, I think putting it above the law on their remote server next turn is fine. If they steal it, we don't lose. Unless they run archives. Which, like, they could. Botulus, love it. Magnet on the innermost. Ah, running hot. Rip. No, spin, come on. Stay in the deck. With 4 agendas in hand, like, we have to score at. Oh, this is sick. I wonder if they're going to keep going. This is the only anarch that's playing Botulus with any sort of consistency. So this is 1 net damage. It's a net damage. I don't know if they realize that. They can prevent it. So if they want to continue, this is actually a really big res, because that means we get the Valenchow res for free. Like, they have to jack out here. Because once we're on 4 bad publicity, like, the game is kind of messed up. And they don't go through the Valenchow. So, you continuing? Come on. Come on. We need you to continue here. I don't think it's right to continue. Trebuchet, like, blows out Banhar. Chastushka 4 off the top is, like, thinking, yeah, of course. I don't know if you continue here. You haven't seen any BP ice, right? And merely like we iced this whatever we had because it was like the first ice. Yeah, that seems right. I think allowing us to res a bad pub ice is like an issue. Okay, so this is a 14 credit res, and then the trace is relevant. That sucks, because now they're on game point. If they call or play, they call or play. Perch. We would love a bus. Okay. We'll draw once. Okay, we'll put it in the server 2. Here, we can put a Magda in front of there, because they go through this for 2 damage, and then they have to have a way to deal with the Trebuchet. I think the way for them to deal with the Trebuchet is probably just... I don't think we res the data loop ever. I think we discard the data loop and we just put a magnet there. Yeah, above the law dealing with Banhar maybe gives us a window, but like we're playing, trying to start a race car on just fumes. But if we score out and then we have a Banhar, we have a window here, because sort of these decks don't have a lot of breakers. This might be like, you know, just Airblades, Banhar. I don't know if we're going to see like Boomerang and stuff, sort of stuff. HQ is pretty good for now. We did tempo I1 punitive. Wayland subsidiary supporting public transport systems. Well, they have a transport monopoly, don't they? Did I say transport monopoly on accident? I'm like so aware that they last steel skin doesn't really matter, that I often say the wrong card. Looks like Banhar is going to take a second nap, this time by orbital laser. Hush on Valentau is cool. It'll still end the run, but it stops us from getting bad publicity, which is kind of sick. I think so. Yeah, great. One off the top can cost us the game. We're going to not try and cost us the game. But there's still like a bunch of running hots. There's still a finality they can send. But now without Banhar, there's a bit more like care that has to be taken. And like, I don't know how they break magnet. Like if we put something in front of the magnet and res it, like I don't actually know how they deal with magnet. Here though, like clearly they're going to be running HQ, but I think the Valentau is going to hold out. Unless they have like a big economy card. Like they can play Sure Gamble, run HQ, and that actually might be a problem. Oh, but they have to deal with the magnet. Sorry. Yeah, it's only final Banhar or like produce a buzzsaw, I guess. That's kind of cool. We're just so close to getting that red cap. Boomerang. So this looks a bit like what's this like the sort of list Diogen was playing. So we're gonna res a Trebuchet here just because it gives us a 4th bad publicity. They don't want to let any of these subroutines fire. And they could lose the finality, but we know where most of the points in the deck is. If we lose off the single axis, I'm gonna feel pretty upset. Yeah, okay, good. Red cap from hand, we win in 2 turns. Issues, we're gonna go down to 6 credits. Oh, Valentau is only 5. Checking archives. Purge. You think they're gonna run HQ? I think they might, but they can't get through a magnet. Whatever. I'm not gonna go top of the deck. I'm gonna do the punitive. We win next turn if we don't lose this turn. We just have to hold the red cap. Is the mighty magnet, the 3x magnet, going to hold out? They have 2 clicks to win. Running hop probably comes down here. Boomerang. They're going R&D. Wait, did they just played another ghost tongue on the last click? There's no way. That can't be the line. We lost another spin doctor. Yeah, they're just hoping that we don't have it. All right, good game. Yeah, I think they have to really put the pressure on there. Like the ghost tongue is just trying to do as much damage as possible, but I think there's always a risk there that you lose. Thanks to the game. That got real close. That was real close. Yeah, I think you just have to put the pressure on. Like, regulatory captures are almost always the most likely agenda to have in hand. I think the way that you saw us sabotage off the top of R&D, like, clearly we had the really good stuff in hand. That's obviously a hard call to make sometimes. Especially because some people just, like, sabotage weird. So who knows? When was off the top of they ran? No, it wasn't, because we sabotaged 2 off of the top of R&D. The top of R&D was Angelique. It's just, like, they played the Ghost Tongue, so we just, for fun, sabotaged, and then it was a couple cards down. It was Spin Doctor and CityWorks is sorry, Sabotage, Angelique, Spin Doctor, and Marrow just hit the CityWorks. So no, R&D was safe. Yeah, I forgot about the Sabo. Yeah, it's 11:20. I think we're only gonna do 1 more with this, maybe 2 more, depending how fast the game is. But we won't be able to do super modernism and build a deck unless someone has a super modernism shelled up, like already sleeved up, that we can play. Oh, that's a deck list. That's the game. See if we win and don't lose. It's hard. It's hard. Like, we lose that game if we don't trash 2 Banhars. Like, and that's why I love this list. Is like trashing 2 Banhars is like kind of very important. Sable. Man, people are super Sable pilled. I get it. Ooh, data looping to Sable is good fun. This is a much better hand. Thanks, you too. All right, we're gonna keep this hand for sure. We're gonna ice up 2 central servers, and then we're gonna hostile from there. We're not gonna worry about the early Rashida because we're gonna respect Sable's pressure. So the question is, where do we want what? Board control is pretty good into diversion, but it's not a more taxing piece of ice on HQ. I'd rather have a more taxing piece of ice on HQ because they're more likely to force us to res it early, and that does more damage financially to both of us, as much as we'll be able to score out a hostile from hand after they let this fire. But I'm more worried about consistent HQ pressure than I'm worried about consistent R&D pressure into criminal because of Awaken Plant, I guess, and diversion. It's like trading a board control for a diversion is not a great play, because then you have no ice on HQ. And the diversion is not that bad in a deck that runs, you know, too big to fail, hostile. There's like ways you can recover. As much as money does matter in this matchup. I don't know. I feel like trading border control for diversion is like almost never amazing. You'd rather even have the border control for the remote server over HQ. Like if we were not icing up R&D, I would put border control on remote. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe data loop on remote for this deck actually makes more sense. So disregard that. Bankroll. We're going. 4 credit play. Hostile. Get that down before the Hermes. In terms of like we haven't seen a Hermes today. I think the last Sables we saw were Swift, which makes sense. They're on deep dive lists. Punitive online. Angelique on the table. We can do Angelique into Rashida. Damage is like pretty relevant into criminal, but singleton breakers, just like wanton random damage can really slow them down. We'll go from there. Archives is the mark. Carpe diem. Really good. 14 credits on turn 2. Very good. Data loop. Love it. It's a hard call to save that ice for the remote server. Yeah, if it wasn't Sable, we'd consider it. But the on-counter in this is quite relevant because criminal card draw is butt. It's really quite butt. And like there's some worlds where like if you're on threat, you can just do like Angelique, Angelique, Angelique. I just don't think that's realistic. All right, they bottom 2, still in 10 credits. So we've gone through 7 cards. We kept. I don't know if you think there's another agenda here. We'll res this. It's 3 credits. They now know our whole suite. They can boomerang through the data loop, but it's still kind of interesting. Do you think we do Angelique? Let's draw for an ice. We'd be happier with that. Yeah, let's. Oh man, we could do Angelique and virus for 3 damage. How sick is that? I don't know if it's right to trade Angelique Rashida. I'm going to try it. There's a chance that we just wait for ice here because like trading an Angelique this early is pretty bad. But again, like doing some amount of damage to criminal is good. It's just like we don't have a hand to capitalize on the damage we're doing to them. Like they're still drawing into cards that they had. Boomerang diversion would be kind of rough, but at least for that case, we still have Rashida. But like it would have to be, it's not 2 or end the run. Yeah, it's they add 2 and not if able, so as much as they can. I wonder if they miss bones and run this. I don't think you're really prioritizing putting miss bones against the outfit deck. Put it down against the outfit. Amakua, nice. So this is only slightly a liability. Archives is not a mark. So now R&D is open, but hey, we got Rashida. So we're going to be able to hopefully close the holes that Rashida, the Amakua is going to open. Or not. Or very much not. All right. So we can put a virus in archives. So here we can score out a hostile and just discard the virus. That's like just as good, right? Yeah, we just want speed run bad pub. Giving bad publicity to the Amakua is bad. Here they have no server they can build the turtle off of though. So if they run an archives mark, they might go for it because like you see bankroll and you see money and it's a clickless credit. But if we purge an Amakua here, they'll be on 1 counter so they can still contest R&D. But like we just need to get a Trebuchet and a Valence out because it's really hard to rely on Amakua. This seems more like Cable's list. Single access off the top here. We know where 2 points are. We have singleton punitive. We're not going to pop that. Cool. Sick. We could put a Rashida here. All right. You think you will? Now you might as well check. We've seen 2 viruses. Pretty funny. It's going to ask us to purge consecutively. Going back. It's relatively cheap. They could actually give us a credit off the border control. I guess for Valence it matters. We have double punitive. That's actually quite interesting. Okay, so we can't play too big to fail for a minute. So I think we want to draw for ice. Server 2. I think we just play an under the bus for 2 credits. We have to watch out. They have a lot of money. Like punitive is not going to be super easy. But the cool thing is like we can punitive super heavily, then too big to fail and punitive. The problem is like the too big to fail has to hit real good. So again, they can probably trash this remote server. It'll cost them a fair bit. Again, we just need ice. We've had a problem not drawing to ice soon enough. Having another piece of ice here really turns off Amakua, which would be important. I don't think we want to spend a turn to purge though into the Amakua. Maybe we ice up archives, we do. But the deck usually only has 1 mutual favor, 1 of each breaker. So it can be a minute if they don't like have good draw, and they currently don't have draw. Data loop on HQ seemed good. I'd be much more worried about him smashing HQ. All right. So we can take down Rashida and Angelique for free. But we're going to get rid of a class act and a legwork. So pretty good, as much as that was a connection. This is too bad, pub. Still, yeah. I think that was a pretty fair trade. I have no doubt they wanted to get a class act down. I wonder if they should have got down them first. Maybe they had better targets in hand. Just singles to win. If they hit a punitive here or 5-3 here, I don't know what happens. Because they have a bit more money because they have to crack the bankroll. Spin Doctor, okay. That would have been a good draw for us. All right, well, we can hold here. Do we just hold here and then regulatory capture? Let's draw for ice. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, this is cursed. We talked about how, like, it's cool that you can build a remote server with this deck, but whatever. We're not doing it. So we got one legwork out. That's usually all the HQ pressure besides Awaken Plant, and obviously the diversions. But, like, I don't know how to get the Amakua up to. And they have to trash the Angelique, so, like, the Amakua won't build up a counter on this run. Not that that run's specifically that important. RD's the mark. I have to worry about Mavirus too, but, like, smashing into boarding control is fine. It's a cat! What are they Katurging? Very cool. They actually have to pick the card before Angelique, right? Yeah, it's because then they access this upgrade. So there's a chance the card they pull. Do we boarding control a Katurga? I think we might. I think we do. This card doesn't do anything with bad publicity. It will with Amakua, but anything there will. So we'll trade a Katurga for that. So this is its own brew. We didn't see Katurga at Worlds. Now, obviously, they can, like, build counters off of this, but once we get a nice there and then we purge, it's like 4 strength, hopefully 6 strength archives with 2 Mavirus in it. Man, we've been playing some really weird tempo boarding controls. But, like, if they hit this, right, they go to 16 credits. I don't think we can do punitive, too big to fail punitive. They'll get the click back. Garza. Hit an inside job and a deep dive. That feels pretty good. Inside job deals the data loop pretty well. Carmen's down. Okay. So they won't be scared of... Oh, that's good. It's actually pretty good. Do you think we hold for a turn here? I think we hold R&D because we can't allow them to build turtle counters. So let's draw once. Nice. So we'll put this on R&D. And we'll put this on HQ, I think. Mind you, they'll have, like, they can always crack their bankroll to get through the Valenchow. Maybe this was actually the wrong order. But next turn we can just score from hand. It's a Valenchow. So they have 12 credits. We have 15. So this should fire. Well, they could pop this. So they could be 8 + 9 + 4. We want to turn this off as soon as possible because it's been all the economy. Oh, they're letting this fire. Cool. They don't lose actual money because they lose bad publicity. So it's actually not that bad. But now we've kept that server down. This server is now stronger against inside job. And then we just scored regulatory capture. And here now, unfortunately, 2 Angeliques are gone, but we can, like, thread and install a City Works. We just have to remember they're on 8 + 9. They're on 17 credits to our 15. Like, they actually have more money than us. And we still have some Ice Therese. But they have to watch out. Like, we top deck 2 more reg caps. It's not going to happen. We're in a hard spot still here. I would love 1 Audacity. I don't know why the deck doesn't have at least 1 Audacity. I guess it only has 1/3/2. That's why. But you can Audacity or reg cap. Like, pivot, reg cap, Audacity. I feel like there's stuff you can do this deck. It's just like... Maybe it's good that's all 3 of because it's a simpler deck to play at a longer tournament. As soon as you add pivot, you start having to, like, play the lines, and that gets kind of difficult. All right, they're drawing up. Criminal clicks to draw a heck of a lot. We've got 1 class act down. The deck probably runs 3 class acts. Maybe it's on diesels, but if we sing Katurga deep dive, I don't think it has influence to spend on that. Draw. So a lot of times the plays, if we jam like here, I'd love to jam a spin doctor or something behind a data loop and force them into it. They're going to discard a lot of cards here. I don't think it's that bad, but, like, we're weak to border control in their remote server. If we just do data loop, can you actually punitive at this point? Maybe. There's a chance. We'd have to do like punitive, too big to fail punitive. It might be hard. But we have to force them to spend credits, because that's the thing. To this turn, we force them to spend no credits whatsoever. And obviously with 5 bad publicity, that's an issue. I don't like the Valenchao anymore. Actually, this is the wrong order. We should have the on and counter on the inside. Ah, that's a bit tricky. Because like if they inside job, we want them to inside job the magnet. Because we don't want to res the 7 to get the 3. But if they run it, we can just res the magnet. They have 9 credits on bankroll. No, I'm aware. So like they have to spend breakers. They have to install something. And then they won't have the bad publicity. But they have to crack this, that's for sure. And then once they crack this, then we have to do like punitive pretty heavily, big to fail punitive. We probably don't have the money now, but like once we start to force them to do something, and immediately 5 bad publicity goes pretty far. Like they have to install class acts, they have to install a console probably. Like we might be able to get there. I wonder if they're gonna run archives here. This is cool. They're forcing us to spend money to do something. I'm actually pretty happy to res the data loop here. Just because it allows us to too big to fail out, and this actually does damage to them. Like they thought this would be a way to farm Amakua. Why would you not want to push the agenda? Because we lose to like border control, to boomerang inside job. There's a couple things we lose to here. I think we want to basically like force their tricks out before pushing it. Because like we don't actually have that much money. But this turn we could do like above the law, too big to fail here. The thing is like we can't rely on Trebuchet anymore. We can't rely on Valenchao because they just crack the bankroll. So like we need a really weird combination of cards like this. Yeah, you see? Doof. Yeah. Get out. They're 1 card in hand. Double Angelique kills. Oh man. It's really funny. Well, they threw everything at us, so we're just gonna try and win. You have it? Angelique only does 1 damage from hand. So here we can. So here they have to have a trick, right? Like not a lot of people are playing any, like Deuce's Wild is gone. So the only other card in the format, if I'm not mistaken, that gets Amakua counters is falsified credentials. Oh man, if they install a class act. They need to install a resource here. Oh man, if we score out a resource. And then we're on game point, right? Because we top deck a hostile. No, we're just gonna score this out blank. 6 bad publicity. All right. They can run R&D here. Like they have more money than us. They can go through Valenchao. It's not like forever, but like this is the biggest weakness is they can go through Valenchao. If they're on 14 plus 6 bad publicity, like this doesn't do anything. Eventually it does, but like they have to lock the top of the deck here. This card's now a liability when they have 6 bad publicity. When the bully, you know, the tables get turned. Yeah. At least if we like do a punitive, if they steal a 3-pointer, then they have to crank the bankroll, and then like Valenchao is a bit more interesting. But yeah, this is the only server they can run is Valenchao, and I think they should. Because they can build up counters and then run through this if they want. I forgot what they access from RD. Like, I don't know what they know that we have in hand. I don't know if they know we're in punitive. They might be just like savvy enough to know the list. Because people do know this list. Oh, Shibboleth. This is still okay, I think. It's like, with 6 bad publicity, this run gets a lot better. But like, it's 3 for this. They boomerang the data loop. So this is like, doesn't cost them anything besides a credit. And 2 cards. So it's fine. Us going down to 6 actually doesn't change the narrative of the game, though. Like, it does change the Valenchao, but here they have to lock at the top of the deck. Because, like, if we top deck a hostile, we top deck a regulatory capture, there's 3 and 23 we went off the top. Remember a few months ago when you said you were missing a single old FFG card? I discovered tonight that I'm somehow missing a single copy of Dream Enhancing Serum. Oh, no way. But, like, one of the unique ones, Leonard? Do we push it? They're on 18 credits and 6 bad publicity. I don't think we need to. I think we will next turn, but we want another ice here. Yeah, that'll kind of do. That's really rough. At least you can you can proxy Netrunner. Have 7 bad publicity. We're in 15 to 8 plus 7, so they're on 15 already on bad publicity. Not even. I'm legit considering buying a second copy of 1,000 Shapes. Oh, there's a chance though. A lot of the data packs are now like a lot cheaper because they don't make them anymore and they don't sell well. So you might be okay. They can't stop it. Oh, I didn't realize there were 2 cards on hand. Yeah, we could have just pushed. Yeah, we could have just pushed it. That's 4 damage, 6 damage. We should have just pushed. Sorry, I got FFG. You had lethal with the upgrade, even without the upgrade. Like, they have to get through Data Loop, they have to deal with Angelique, and then they have to deal with Cityworks, and then Punitive. Like, we should have just pushed it there. We're weak to, like, Diversion in 2, but even then, I think we're okay. Not a lot of the ice does anything anymore, right? Like, Carmen boosts 2, 4, it's 6 to break this, so the bad publicity goes +1. It helps, because it helps with Valenchow. Like, we'll still raise the Trebuchet if we need to. But yeah, now we give them a turn to drop. No matter what, we still push it, right? If they steal 3 points, they still have to deal with this, this, this. And then we can threaten Punitive. I don't think it's a real threat. And then it gives us more time to top deck. Again, 3 and 21. We have a 1 in, what is it, 7? To close the game. Mutual favor. Gonna get a Kurapira. Nice. Kurapira into Data Loop. Bad publicity makes all things even. But here they actually have to decide to probably trash the turtle, yeah. All your lines to victory, you cannot find one? Oh, that's offensive. That's just like a dunk on me. That's fine, I guess. Here with 3 cards in hand, we still do push here. Let's see what they do. Cool. So we have 3 and 20 on the win. The Magnet's not really worth rezzing unless they inside job here. They've played or lost 1 inside job. I don't think they played any, though. They lost 1. So then they have to go through here. Ooh, that's good. That's click impression to card draw. It's like clicking for a draw, though. If this was the mark, so this is just like bankroll plus they can install something here for free. So I guess getting a class act down here is the best case for them. You have every line possible. Swift, cool. That doesn't fire because they already played a run event. So that technically is like not going to be worth anything this turn. But I think they're going to try and deep dive here. The problem is like the Swift doesn't work. So they can only steal 3 points on this run. I want to see more public agendas. I kind of do too. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to see less of them because next year this doesn't rotate. Oh no, it rotates next year. All FFG rotates. And then Oaktown is from, you know, System Update, which is also rotating. So it's up to NSG to do public, but public is such a cool type. Sorry for the hard to read chat double negative. No, it's okay. I think it was deck praise, not Violet smashing. They have 1 run here. And even then it's lethal. Because it's 2 cards plus 4 cards plus 2 cards. Inside job is sick. That's why we put this on the innermost. The ordering actually mattered, that we actually worried about, that we wanted to this not to be inside job. Because I wanted the end the hard end the run, but eventually they have breakers. So yeah, that's game. They should jag out here, but then they lose anyways. Here they at least have agency on how they lose. And getting Kurapira up to bypass the data loop is actually kind of relevant. So that is 6 damage, 2 cards in hand. Don't need the punitive. Hey, GG. Yeah, that was hard. We kept them out. That was interesting. Their early turtle was hard pressure. I was lucky to get them viruses. Yeah, that was weird. We're not drawing enough ice soon enough, but I think we have enough lethality attached to other cards that we don't necessarily need ice. But the thing is, like, the way that runners have to respect their ice, it's like so heavy. Like, they can't just face check into Trebuchet in the early game. Yeah, it looked hard. Thanks for the game, eh? In terms of, again, we had 3 and 20 to top deck at any point in the game there. Looks like it would have been a couple cards down, 4 cards down. That's a good game. We played 2 under the buses just to speedrun bad publicity. And for what it's worth, we got to 7, so I still think we want to do it sooner than later. I love the design. I do like it too. It's also really fun the way that it dunks on things like 419 and all that other like install mid-run stuff. I find that really be cool, but it's like such a cool simple Wayland thing, and I like that we're seeing more of that, right? Like I wonder if Wayland is actually the one. It might just be, is Wayland the one faction that has the most unique mechanics that are ideally Wayland or like uniquely Wayland, right? Like we have now we have what's it called, the one where you destroy things. I should know this. We had the spoiler cards, the name escapes me now, where you trash your own cards. They have public. They have bad publicity. There is bad publicity outside of faction, but it's not very common. Expendable, thank you. And what else do other factions have? Like, Jinteki has Psy game. Swap isn't even entirely Jinteki anymore, I don't think. NBN has like I don't want to say tags because it's not really true. But like unique mechanics that only show up on Wayland cards. I think Wayland has the most. And like, cool. I think Wayland's fun. HB has like Biroids. That's its own thing, I guess. Yeah, Biroid's technically mechanic. Yeah, Jai, you got there too, huh? Is meat only Wayland? No, there's meat damage cards that are Jinteki and NBN and neutral. I don't think HB's ever had a meat damage card. X meat. Faction HB. Okay, wait, hold on. I needed to put... We got a scalloped potato recipe. That's really funny. Breach Dome is meat damage. There's Hyobu whatever. There's another card. Research Facility. It does meat damage. Oh, it's not this one. There's one that says whenever like a side game is played, do 1 meat damage. It's terrible. Core damage? Core damage is on runner cards though. Harmonic? Yeah, Harmonic and Next is HB. That's true. Wait, so is there meat faction HB? Is there anything? No, there's nothing. Meat damage on no HB cards. On NBN, there's a bunch. Even like very quickly, I was going to say Flare says meat damage. That was a pretty early card. Very fun card, dude. Drone Screen is awful. Jinteki has a couple. Yeah, Breach Dome. The one I was thinking of is Fumiko Yamamori that does meat damage on a side game. When you reveal secret, you spend credits, do 1 meat damage if you spend a different number of credits. So you can flatline. Can all corpse gain clicks? No. Only HB can gain clicks, right? Wayland cannot gain clicks. HB can gain clicks. Jinteki cannot. NBN can rob clicks. Jinteki has ice that will kill you? Yeah, but like... Jane is from accounting. There's other ones. Wayland ice can't kill you. Can it? I don't think so. There's anything that's lethal. But there's ice that can hurt you. But like HB ice can kill you potentially. That's weird. That's really interesting. I wonder if there's like a key list, like a list of key mechanics at some point. It's cool to see do core damage instead of brain damage on these NanoDB type ads. You probably have clicks for Janus. Okay, hold on. I should pick up this one. This one just kills you. This is the card that you could play in Eternal and people will just face check into this and die. This card's really good. This card is the Saisentan of old. NBN draws 1 million cards. I'd argue HB draws more cards. A lot more cards, especially in Eternal. Jinteki is the only purge card. No, there's a neutral one. In Standard, yeah. But Wayland has cards that care about viruses. They have Sandstone. But Jinteki currently has the 2 purge cards. But back in the day, it used to be neutral. You had Cyberdex Virus Suite and Cyberdex Trial. Only Wayland and HB can trash programs. We have Enforcing Loyalty. There has to be more than that, too. There must be a Jinteki Ice that trash program. Well, we also had like neutral trashes programs. We had Grail Ice that trash programs. Fenris, is it? No, not Fenris. What was the other dog? The neutral dog. Swordsman trashes programs, yeah. Hagen trashes programs. But you said HB and Wayland. NBN trashes programs too. No, Flare trashes hardware. Is there an NBN card that trashes programs? That's really hard to search up. NBN X trash program. They trash programs from hand, but that's not really what we're looking for. Grim and Assassin, yeah, those are the neutral ones. And Cobra. NBN returns programs more. There was a card that was like trace hand, look at hand, trash thing based off of cost. Like there are other ways, but yeah, you're right. Does any non-Jinteki reveal HQ? Oh man, we're doing Netrunner trivia. Reveal cards from HQ. Yeah, Grail did. All the Grail Ice revealed from HQ. Right? I remember Grim because of a game I ran Strength 4 Dark into Grim twice. Yeah, you'll remember that. Yeah, Grail Ice is revealed from hand. Yeah, also we had, what's it called revealed from hands? Twins revealed from hand. Whenever the runner passes Real Ice protecting the server, you may reveal and trash another copy of Ice from HQ. Speaking of Grail Ice, the Twins also revealed from hand. So it's not specifically Jinteki. That's really weird. Balance is technically a mechanic? Kind of? But what do you mean by that, Jai? I'm not sure. Like bounce to hand? Return to hand might be, yeah. Positional ice is not faction lock. No, everyone unfortunately had some amount of positional ice. Some of them were okay. Some were better than others. Jinteki has a whole bunch of bad positional ice. NBN had a couple. What's the one that was like not pachinko, but it was just like if you're tagged and the run? The really, really goofy one that was like very good in Acme and nothing else. I love that card. It was so fun. Yeah, Amani. I think return to hand is specifically NBN. Data Ward. Data Ward is also return to hand. Amani's return to hand. No, not Data Ward. Sorry. It wasn't Data Ward because it had no text. It like was 1 cost, 5 strength, and it just said the runner is considered tagged for the run. After the run ends, remove the tag. It's technically positional ice. I don't know the name of it. Bandwidth. Thank you. Oh man, I love this card. This card was so fun. Give the runner a tag. If the run's successful, the runner removes 1 tag. On a 5 strength. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. You set up like really awkward combos. There used to be a non-typed ice that says if the runner's tagged, they lose all their credits. Universal connectivity fee. Like this used to be garbage. I love this combo. People hated it. And it was like pretty good until I think Ngolo came out. And then it was a problem. TLDR is positional NBN. It's TLDR, and then there's the other one. There's TLDR that doubles, and then there's one that says whenever they break an ice, they pay 1 credit extra. Yeah, it wasn't garbage in Acme. Oh, universal connectivity view is really good in Acme. There's TLDR, and there's another one that says the additional cost, it has like bugs on it. To break a subroutine, they have to pay another credit. It was really, really, really bad. UCF blows itself up and the next ice become outermost. Yeah, UCF was such a problem. Everyone hated that thing. And then, yeah, Wayland had bad positional ice, like Builder and Red Tape. HB technically had positional ice, right? Because they had things like if you've clicked through this during your turn already, like the Zeds. Interrupt 0, that's a Solomir. Yeah. If the runner has spent at least 1 click to break a subroutine during this run, this is technically positional. Technically. And then you had like Mind Layer, kind of positional. Yeah, Interrupt 0, what a card. I remember most of these cards because I play like Gordian Blade. Tears Hand? Tears Hand was an upgrade though. It wasn't positional exactly. Right? It was just an upgrade that said if they did a thing, do a thing. Oh, but you're talking about like the thing that says to break an ice, it costs something more, yeah. Z1's positional, we do not speak of it. Is Z2 still in standard? Yes. I think some of the mid-range Byroids that nobody plays are like kind of okay. Like I think there has to be some sort of weird renaissance where people start trying out these weird ice that were completely dismissed because we were so used to breaking this for 3 cards with Black Orchestra. Like, is this card good enough to play? When somebody face checks into this, like 6 is a lot. Would you rather play MIC? Maybe. But like, are these subroutines good enough? I don't know. Good night, Izzy. Thanks for dropping in, eh? Really want to see that spreadsheet Lucas mentioned in his design talk they made to separate mechanics into factions. Oh yeah, Rohit, that's true. And there was like additional factions on top of it that were cut out, like Dreamer faction, stuff like that. I love imagining getting 3 TLD as fire in a row and a 48 sub Saisentan. I don't think it works like that because, oh, it does. You're right, because the TLDR hits TLDR. Never seen it. Face checking value of Night Dancer firing? It seems good, right? MIC is probably better than Night Dancer most of the time. Yeah, but scoring out a 4-2 from hand can be quite powerful. The problem is like you need this. You need to be able to afford it early, and then you need to be able to have like, you know, a 4-2 in hand. It's like, it's obviously why it's bad. But I do think like some of the other stuff like Kamali 1.0, the problem with this is obviously you're giving the runner choices, and that's not good. But like, okay, 3 strength is not very good. Okay, maybe there's a reason people don't do this. But like, this thing rotated. But like the numbers on Sherlock 2.0 are like totally cromulent. Right, like give the runner a tag, trace 4, return a program to the bottom of the runner stack. Talk about bounce. We had this and we had Will-O-Wisp, so slightly bounce. Like this is a hard thing to break. A 6 strength sentry for 7. You could set up a chain with TLDR, Wormhole, Cell Portal, Marcus Batty, firing the Cell Portal sub without encountering to create an ice with more subs than ads in the universe. When I'm hearing of a runner paychecks, Night Dancer, I can biotic out of salvo testing. That's exactly what it is. TLDR might not compound with its wording. Second copy of subroutine is a bit restrictive. It's not extra copy. Why does that happen every once in a while? Search is and. Okay, I'll get there. When the run encounters the next piece of ice during this run, that ice gains a second copy of each subroutine on it after the original subroutine for the remainder of the encounter. No, it should work, right? It's called Sherlock, which is sick. It's good. Got a violin, got a pipe. He's out there telling people that there's, oh, the problem was you have monkey blood because they did weird science. I started reading some Sherlock Some of them are so wild where it's like, yeah, and the murder mystery was a rock on a string. Thank you, Sherlock. Why did you have to be a dick to everyone on the way? Allowed titration. Just as value as a sub as before. Anywho, I think that's gonna be it for today. We'll be back. Sorry, I don't know if you hear the fire trucks. I'll give it a second. Thanks so much for hanging out. Always enjoy these Thursday night streams. Again, if you want to like the YouTube video, that definitely helps the channel grow. We have a bunch of links also below. If you're a newer player, you're watching on Twitch, if you follow, that helps too. But there's a whole bunch of things we added to the bottom to like jump into NetRNDB, Kentucky.net, No Signal Games. So you can know where you need to be and where you could be and where you should be. Green Level Clearance Discord, for instance. I think that's largely it. We'll have some of the finals coming up this weekend. I think Saturday morning we'll start. Again, events are going on all the time. Check out Always Be Running. We have nationals coming up in the UK. SOS, Sovereign of Subways, is coming up in a couple of weeks. Again, stay tuned. That is going to be streamed. We'll let you know when and where, but that's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be a big event here. Not here, like around, like in North America. I was thinking the UK Nats. That's mostly it. We'll get back to like doing deck dive stuff. I'm working on a deck that I have that I'm going to bring to the event on Saturday. And if it's not terrible, we'll do a deck dive on it because it actually looks kind of fun. Thank you for stream, Elbow Cop. Yo, Jenny, how's it going? Welcome to the end of the stream. Hopefully you're doing well. And that's mostly it. We'll see you on Tuesday. On Thursday, we mentioned this earlier. I need to reach out to Ed and to Brendan about this, but we might want to do the trivia. What's it called? The trivia that was at Worlds. We might do it on the channel. So I wanted to do that. I haven't done the trivia myself, so I'll do it privately and then we'll do it on the stream. So I'm not sure if we'll do that on a Thursday night or a Tuesday, but I'll let you know before it comes out. Could discuss why and what you would do different. Yeah, I think it's a fun thing. Like that's, I think, a problem with the deck dive videos. And I like this a lot better from other like content creators is like, I worry about putting a deck dive that's just like a slapper. And I kind of would rather put out a deck dive to be like, I don't think this thing is amazing. And I'll explain why. And then we still like have some games to look at. But like, I have done that a couple times too, where like I've done recording and then I realized like the deck is nothing special and they just destroy the footage, which probably isn't the best way. But on that note, you can tell all the deck dives on the channel are largely slappers, unless there's like a contraindication at the beginning. Cool. That's all. Take care, y'all. We'll be back in a bit. Have a good weekend. Ciao.